Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 5 of the British Drift Championship 2018. We're coming to you live from Rockingham Motor Speedway here in Northamptonshire. Today is our Pro Day, but before we get underway with that, let's take a look back to yesterday to our Pro-Am competition and see what happened there with those guys. So that rounds up our Pro-Am Championship. I'm going to go catch up with Eddie Power. He's in the paddock with the pros. We're going to find out exactly what's going on and how those guys are feeling ahead of today's competition.
That's right, Ian. I'm down here in the pits, and it's the final practice session of the season. Guys are putting the final touches on their cars and just making sure that everything is absolutely perfect for this morning's qualification. Ian, you're down here talking to Martin Richards, and Martin, still in the hunt for that championship, and you're going to have a quick word with him.
Yeah, certainly. Martin Richards.
Hello.
You're in it. You can still take it. How'd you feel?
Yeah, we've got a new power plant in the R32 this weekend. We've stepped up some CCs, given us a little bit more power to try and give it one last push to get Dwayne. Beat him, trying to beat him. If not, still pushing for that second place. So everything's to play for today.
It certainly is. Listen, you've been absolutely flying in practice. We wish you all the best of luck. See you soon, dude.
Thank you very much.
Eddie, you can tell a lot of pressure on these guys' shoulders. Martin Richards, one of them, still in the fight for the championship. A lot of people said to me after the final round, look, it's done. Dwayne McKeever's got it in the bag. That's not the story, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we've seen battles overturned with mechanical difficulties. So, this one, it's been a long season, and Martin Richards has fought tooth and nail, but what he hasn't managed to do yet is overcome Dwayne McKeever. Now, let's put it into perspective. If he was to lose the championship but win the round, would that be a minor victory for him? Maybe it would be, taking down one of the most undefeatable men that we've seen all year. But what I think is important is that if you just turn back a couple of weeks ago to the final round of the Irish Drift Championship, the final round of the European Drift Championship, where we saw the first chink in Dwayne McKeever's armour that I have seen in a very, very long time. It looked as though he couldn't deal with the pressure of having all the attention on him, and could we see something similar happen today? We haven't really done the maths, but a high qualification could be enough to secure the championship for him. It's only going to be a matter of time before we know for sure, but I don't think this one is done just yet.
No, it certainly isn't done just yet, like we said. But the thing to take into consideration is this is just not your normal round of a British Drift Championship. OK, it's the final. There's a lot to play for. The championship on the line, like we say, not done and dusted just yet. But one thing to consider is we've thrown a whole mix of other drivers into it. We've got all the guys coming over from the IDC, D-Mac, Alan Hines, all your usual culprits. Not only that, but we've thrown in Kevin Lawrence, all the way from Injuku Racing, from Formula Drift. That guy's come over, he's jumped in Adam Simmons' car. For me, I don't know about you, I've got that sense of feeling where an underdog today, like we've seen before, can come through from nowhere and, potentially upset the apple cart, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. And two names that you haven't mentioned as well there. Conor Shanahan, who has beaten the likes of James Dean. Mitch Larner, who has pushed Dwayne McKeever as far as you can push anybody in the Irish Championship this year. He's out for blood. He is out to prove a point and take the top step of a podium. He would like nothing more than to do that at the expense of Dwayne McKeever. So, you can see just to our left here as well, the Driftworks boss, who has brought his incredibly insane V8 powered Toyota Corolla here this weekend. He's back on the grid, and the lineup here is insane. Kevin Quinn, podium here at round 1. He'll be feeling confident coming into this round as well. So this one's certainly, it's got that edge. The other thing you have to take into account is the final competitive round of the year. All the other European Championships are done. This is the last opportunity these guys are going to get. Now, Darren McNamara, we saw him look very, very fast on the grid and feeling excited. Darren, a quick word. Three Sisters didn't pan out quite the way you wanted it, but you're back on the grid. It's the final competitive round of the year. You got to feel as though this is an opportunity for you to get a little bit of silverware.
That's the plan. We have unbreakable shocks on the front now, so I can hit Kevin Quinn as much as I want this time and it won't break. So it was unfortunate. Three Sisters was going really well and we had a really good setup, really good groove with the track. But this is a different track, you know, it's a fantastic grid here today. We're just trying to work on things in practice, get a good qualifying run and try and qualify high and see what happens from there.
A lot of the attention is going to be on the championship leaders and the championship race, of course, but you won't be too concerned about that, and you won't mind if you come up against one of those guys spoiling their weekend, perhaps, or their season even.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, whoever I get up against, and you go for it from there, whether it's like Alan Hines in IDC last round in Mandela. That was a difficult one mentally, you know, he was going for third in the championship, but when you leave the line, you just got to send it and see what happens.
There you go. Thanks, Darren. So there you have it, Darren McNamara. He's back out, and as we say, look, some problems with that car cost him, and he was looking really confident at Three Sisters, but he's back on the grid here, Ian, and certainly Amanda, because he has the experience. He's fought for championships in Formula D in the past. Certainly one to watch.
Yeah, he certainly is. And like you say, he went out with mechanical failure at the last round. Not all we expected to see. We know Darren McNamara, like you say, got a whole wealth of experience, a very, very good driver. Going to catch a quick word with Kevin Lawrence as he puts his hat on for a practice run. Kevin Lawrence.
What's up?
Thanks for making the jump onto the plane, coming over to the UK. How'd you find UK competition so far?
Oh, it's fun. It's a good time. Just trying to get used to the car. It's a little bit different than what I have at home. The cars, they have the grip, they have the power. It's just the tracks are a lot smaller than what I'm used to, so a lot tighter, more technical than the normal stuff. So.
Well, you look like you're absolutely flying in practice, and you know what? We look forward to seeing you in that top 32. See if you can mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries, there you go. A very confident looking Kevin Lawrence, used to driving a right-hand drive car, so not really too far out of his comfort zone. He says the car's got the power and the grip that he's used to, just a smaller technical circuit. But listen, it's guys like that for me that could really mix things up.
Yeah, look, when you get visiting drivers, you add this unknown element, something that we haven't seen before. And while it may be a new track to them, it may be a new car, what the other drivers on the grid don't know is how much they can trust their ability. They don't know. They're not used to running with them, so there's that little air of uncertainty, and that can create very interesting battles. And I, for one, very excited to see such a big influx of new drivers and fresh blood into this championship. As we walk down the grid, you see Brett Perry preparing himself. Peden Nielsen, visiting Irish driver here this weekend. He's just getting out to have a quick word with Phil Morrison, and you can just see the transparent doors. We'll see if we can get a quick word with Peden.
Hey lads.
You're on British soil for the weekend.
I am.
The car took a few bumps and bruises yesterday, the hands of Seamus Walsh, but
there's no other man to fix it, really, though.
Exactly, yeah. That's what we were saying in the tower. How are you feeling, though? Your last competitive event of the season, and a little bit of a fun one for you. No real pressure this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Eddie. I think this weekend here is all about the fun. And really, it's about supporting Drift Games this last event. I want to send Drift Games out with a bang, and that's what it's really all about here. I'm here to have fun, I'm going to be chopping some timber afterwards. So if somebody wants any kind of wood, if you're looking for, winter time is coming, and I'd love to chop some timber for you. Send me a message, DM, and.
You've had a chance to practice with some of the drivers. Is there anyone in particular that you want to take down? Anybody's weekend that you want to ruin here in Rockingham?
Phil. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking to try and take Phil. I almost reversed into him there a minute ago. So what I'm trying to do is the same thing again. My tactic is not to beat them on track. It's to beat them before we get to the start line. Yeah.
Okay, so it's mind games and destruction down on the start line.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Great. Listen, Peden, we wish you the best of luck, and thanks for taking the time to have a very serious conversation with us.
Yeah, thank you.
So there you have it, Peden. Not really a whole lot of useful information there from him, but information nonetheless.
Yeah, Mr. Serious, always having fun. And you know what, for me, Peden Nielsen has been a guy that I've been waiting to see in the UK for a long time. Brings a different twist to it for me, and as you can tell with the fun race suit and the cool car, he's always a fun guy to have around, but a very good competitor, and you can't count him out of it any which way. But that is it, Eddie. You know what, I think it's about time that me and you head to the tower, and we kick off qualifying for the final time of 2018. Strap yourselves in, it's going to be an exhilarating ride. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the British Drift Championship 2018. We are coming to you live from Rockingham Motor Speedway in Northamptonshire. My name is Ian Waddington. As always, I'm joined by my good friend, the Power in the Tower, Eddie Power. Eddie, we just witnessed some unbelievable practice. These guys were going at it like it was the final event of the year, the final battle of the year, should we say. But it's not, it was just practice, and yet we're going to see these guys go head-to-head in qualification in just a couple of minutes' time.
Yeah, Ian, look, for one final time in 2018, we are here. And you know what? If you didn't make the trip, if you thought it was going to be cold, if you thought it was going to be raining, how wrong were you? Blue skies. I don't think I've ever seen so much smoke created from drifting vehicles ever, because it's been impossible to watch the action on track because the smoke has been so insane. The guys are pushing it really hard out there, and we've even seen some problems with some of our championship leaders as well out on track.
Yeah, we certainly have. Listen, I think everyone's pushing more than they've ever pushed before. This is the final ever competitive drift event that will be held here at Rockingham Motor Speedway. After this event, it's done. There's going to be a few practice days. We know the guys from Rockingham Drift Academy come down here. They're going to put on a few drift days, but this is the final time that the British Drift Championship is going to be here competing. Not only that, it's the final ever event under current management. Next season, we see a new owner to the British Drift Championship. We're not sure who or what they're going to do yet. We don't know how this is going to play out. All I know is I've got a job. Not too sure about you, Eddie, just yet. We haven't discussed that side of things.
I haven't been approached, yeah. We don't know if Brexit will allow me a visa, so, you know, it's a big deal. So,
but not only that, we've got some interesting stories. Like you just mentioned, we see earlier, Martin Richards come off the line. He was battling Conor Shanahan in practice. Conor Shanahan made contact with the back of Martin Richards' car, broke the differential.
Yeah, and from where we were looking, there was a big spill of oil on the track. We thought it could have been the engine that let go, but fortunately for Martin Richards, just a diff. So the guys working very hard down in the pits to get that fixed. Dwayne McKeever, didn't see a whole lot of him out on track in practice. Could he go undefeated in the British Drift Championship? 5 wins from 5. That is what he's facing, but he also has the simple matter of a championship to try and tie up here as well at the final round. This is where it all started for him way back in March, and it's been a long, hard-fought season. I mean, those cars, they have taken a serious battering, and it all comes down to this final round.
It certainly does. Listen, we're not going to make it easy for Dwayne McKeever either, because, of course, why would we? This is the final event of the year. We're putting on a show for you guys in attendance and at home watching online. So we brought along Mitch Larner. Mitch Larner has been hunting down Dwayne McKeever all season. He has been looking to pip him to the post, shall we say. And it is 4 for 0 for Dwayne McKeever in battles. Those guys have gone head-to-head 4 times this season. Not once has Mitch Larner taken Dwayne McKeever down. Could today be the day? Could today be the day that Mitch Larner says, you know what, buddy? I'm in a new circuit. I'm in a new country I've never visited before. I'm going to put on a show for these guys. I'm going to take you down and stop your championship right there, opening it up for Martin Richards to jump in and take it.
And that's the thing. When we walked through the pits earlier on, Ian, and everybody is talking about Mitch Larner. They're not mentioning anybody else. We spoke about it yesterday. Mitch Larner comes out on track. The first practice run he ever does. Does he take a siding lap? No. Just throws on the wall. That's the confidence of this young man. He has full belief in himself. The fans back in Australia, they'll be staying up to watch this one with a close eye. He brings a massive following. The fans in Ireland got behind him, and I reckon he's going to come away from the British Drift Championship with a lot of fans as well.
He certainly is indeed. But first of all, before we get into qualifying, we need to talk to our judges, who this weekend are going to be, Ryan Pothecary, David Egan and Kieran Hines. And we're going to jump to those guys, and we're going to speak to Dave Egan, who's going to talk us through exactly what they're looking for a 100-point qualifying run. Dave Egan.
Thanks, guys, and what a day and what a finale. I mean, when we picked out an event in October, we thought, you know, we'd be thawing most of us out here in the tower. It is like a July morning right now. Perfect finish to the season, and this is the perfect track to finish it on too. It's perfect for tandem battles, 4 wall runs a lap. Hugely challenging, lots of smoke. We got an amazing audience here today. We're pumped for it after a great day of Pro-Am yesterday. We've fine-tuned our judging criteria as well based on that, and the guys have gone out this morning. From watching practice, they've been incredible. We're going to talk you through this track today, so if you're new to drifting or you're new to this venue, we're going to let you know exactly what it's going to take to score that perfect 100 in qualifying. So here's the track layout. It is a straight shot from the start line, full throttle from the start line. No chicane used this weekend due to the fact that that run-in is quite short, and drivers were having trouble with the chicane and then getting through the gears. So it's going to be a straight shot to the first corner. You'll see 3 cones, a set of 3, then 2, then 1, just before the initiation point. That just gives us a guide of how early a driver is initiating into the corner. Initiation is open. You can, on a handbrake is fine, but we prefer a weight transfer or clutch kick for those maximum points through clipping zone 1. Then it's all about staying and riding that outer white line with the rear wheels through clipping zone 2. Drivers having trouble here with staying on the track as the elevation, it's not so obvious for you watching at home, but for here, there's a big elevation drop there. Gravity does its job and sends some of those cars a little wider than they'd want to be. So that's a tricky part. Then it's staying full throttle all the way through clipping zone 2 up towards our first wall run at clipping zone 3. Just get nice and close to that wall. There's enough of an overhang there on the white line so you can still ride that white line. And then it's about the transition. And this is really important part for high scoring and qualifying. That transition from clipping zone 3 to 4, you got to time that right because you carry enough momentum for this big pull as you come towards clipping zone 4. Maximum points, but you're going to have to run the rear bumper right close to that wall in front of the grandstand and then keep on the throttle all the way down the hill towards clipping zone 5 to our second deceleration zone just after clipping zone 5 where you scrub a little bit of speed and then aim to get out to that outer white line before the wall run. That's very important to give yourself a nice run up along the wall and not into the wall. Then it's another tricky transition and quite snappy from 6 to 7. And once you settle the car just before clipping zone 7, it's full throttle and another wall run across clipping zone 8 and you can straighten up across the finish line. Big things from yesterday that we noticed was you need to be very fluid and very fast. Any wavering of the steering wheel, any adjustments, we'll mark that down. We want a nice, fluid, full throttle pass of the course with only 2 deceleration zones at clipping zone 1 and as they're coming back down the hill at clipping zone 5. Other than that, we want to see plenty of smoke, plenty of action. You tag the wall and it doesn't affect your line. You might even score a little bit more here. It's the final round, cars on the line, championships on the line. We're expecting these boys to go hard and we're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, we sure are looking forward to these guys going hard. But alongside what Dave Egan has just gone through exactly how to do it, there is also a set of criteria that our drivers have to adhere to. We're going to bring those up on the screen for you in attendance. You can take a look at the big screen, and I'm just going to run through it for you right now. Each driver will complete 2 non-consecutive scored runs. The highest score after both runs will count as a driver's final score. Each run is scored out of a maximum of 100 by our 3 judges. The average score from all 3 judges will count as a driver's run score. Drivers will be deducted points for momentary loss of drift, understeer, incorrect line, dropping 1 to 3 wheels off the designated circuit, significant contact. Drivers will be rewarded for extreme entry, increased speed, fluidity, snappy transitions, correct judging line, precision, proximity to the outer clipping zones. Drivers will score a 0 for complete loss of drift, spinning out, dropping 4 wheels, extreme understeer, driving a section of the course. Well, with that done, Eddie, that is all of the formality and everything we need to know of how to score a 100-point run. But before we get into it, there is just one person that we need to catch up for before we kick it off, and that is your good friend, Nathan Black. Nathan, what do you got for us, mate?
Hello there, Drift fans. Yes, look at this. It's time, the grand finale of the BDC. And what an incredible, intense, electrifying set of events it's been this year, the British Drift Championship. It started here in Rockingham and it's going to end here in Rockingham, live here today. The question remains, will the reign of Dwayne continue? Or will some of the drifting giants that are here before us today be able to take that man down? The likes of Martin Richards with his brand new engine, the Thunder from Down Under, the future Connor Shanahan, and the weirdo Kevin Quinn, all potential dethroners here today. But there is another little mystery as well, and that is the mystery of the man who now owns the BDC. With me, Mr. Dave Egan taking a step back. It's time to find out who's going to be running things next year, how they're going to be doing it, and most importantly of all, if this guy's going to have a job next year. We'll find out today.
Thanks, Nathan. Always full of excitement as always. And talking about excitement, Rockingham Motor Speedway, you guys are ready to kick off a qualifying here for the final round of 2018? Yeah, they're getting pumped. The sun's out. I'm ready to go. Eddie, are you ready?
I'm born ready.
Let's go. Let's get to the line for the first qualifying run of the final round of the British Drift Championship 2018. And that driver sitting on the line will be Paul Cunnington. Eddie, tell us about this young guy.
Well, look, we watched him all the way yesterday. You know, car trouble at the end of the day meant we didn't have a 3rd and 4th place finish, but with him having to back out of competition, it meant he finished 4th, just missing out on that silverware. But look at this line already, Ian. He is straight back into where he left it off yesterday. Perfect line so far from Paul Cunnington, the Pro-Am driver. Taking it out to the wall. No pressure on this young man's shoulders today as he is here just to mix it for a little bit of fun with the big boys and try and cause an upset. Perfect line so far as the sun beats down on the Rockingham circuit. Cunnington sends up the smoke signal, takes it to the wall, and with the first run of qualifying is in the books. We have started the final round of the championship in 2018. Insane.
insane, like you say, Eddie. And you know what, for me, Paul Cunnington really there, a little bit of redemption. He didn't get to do that third and fourth place playoff as he wanted, as our track marshals there battle to get to the debris left on the track from Paul Cunnington. I feel that was what he wanted, that he couldn't get out of his system yesterday. And look at that, a 73.3 for Paul Cunnington's first qualifying run of the day. Not a bad way to kick it off.
Certainly not. And we turn our attention now back to the start line, where third place from yesterday's competition, Alistair Sutton, sits waiting on the line. What a season it's been for this young man. Underpowered, 200 brake horsepower, E36 BMW. We have a slight delay just while the marshals make sure the track is ready. But this guy, you mentioned yesterday, Ian, he's doubling his horsepower for next year, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what he accomplishes. This guy is a rising star, the future of British drifting. It might say Pro-Am on the side of this car, but there is nothing Pro-Am about this driver. He is a pro in the makings, and he is off the line. What can he do here in this underpowered BMW? He may struggle to try and keep with people in the battles later on, but right now his attention is firmly on nailing this qualifying line. Hugs the white line, takes it to the wall. Pinpoint accuracy from Alistair Sutton, as you can hear him just hammer that throttle, foot firmly to the floor, as Sutton moves to an inside line as he tries to make it out to that sixth clipping zone. And the big uphill pull here now as he tries to finish this one off in style, and he certainly does, taking it right out to the wall. Rockingham makes some noise for Alistair Sutton.
Alistair Sutton there, absolutely laying it down. And something I mentioned yesterday in the Pro-Am battles and qualifying, this guy is an absolutely incredible line driver. You stick him on that line, he absolutely nails it. Look at that, 77.3 for Alistair Sutton, his first qualifying run. He said to me he can't wait to jump in his new car, but he wanted to finish off the season in his old car. He said £2,000 that car cost him, and it got him in the top 5 of a Pro-Am championship. On the line though, Andrew Earl now comes off the start line, finished second, step on the podium yesterday, over the moon. This guy again also mixing up in the pro class, been throwing it down all day in practice, and look at that, Eddie, all the way up to the edge of the outer zone, all the way to the wall. These guys are absolutely on point.
Really are, and you got to remember that Andrew Earl, before the start of this campaign, had never stepped foot on a podium. Come the final round, he now has 2 second-place finishes under his belt, and he is exuding confidence. Look at the way he just takes it to the wall, pinpoint accuracy once again. And this is a guy who could well cause some problems for some pro drivers here. What a way to start your qualifying campaign in the pro class for the final round of the championship. Insane stuff from him. Will he break into the 80s? Certainly, I think it's going to be close.
Certainly is going to be close, Eddie, and we await for the judges to put their scores in for this one. Our Pro-Am drivers already making a scene, and look at this.
This scene at 81.7, wow.
Andrew Earl jumps into the 80s with his first qualifying run, and what a way to kick it off. Up next, this guy took the top step on the podium and was flawless all day, the 16-year-old student.
I'm expected to see a 90 here. He qualified with a 94 yesterday. Insane stuff from a so-called Pro-Am driver. But look at the line already from young Ryan Caldwell. Top step on the podium, and some redemption for him in a season where he's played second fiddle to Lee Scott. But right now, a lot of pro drivers will have firm focus on what this young man is accomplishing. Look at the way he takes it to the wall. Clouds out the arena here in Rockingham. Perfectly over the line, and if that's not a 90-point run, I don't know what is. Rockingham, show your appreciation to the 16-year-old driver, Ryan Caldwell. I mean, this is just the first 4 drivers, and we're going in reverse championship order.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say that is the Pro-Am drivers. And look at that, an 85.3 for Ryan Caldwell. Narrowly misses out on that 90-point mark. Listen, he's got more in the bag, and he is going to be gunning for that one.
You know what? I think the judges are holding back, knowing that they can't go into the 90s too early, because that run for me was really, really strong. Now we move it on to Antoine Amar.
Yeah, Antoine Amar coming from Paris in France, one of our international drivers, piloting an RB25 powered S13, 400 horsepower under the bonnet. This guy's a recovery driver representing a street racing garage drift shop, the Zegnova tyres, France, and a Redline oil, as he absolutely bashes the rev limiter, gets in to the final 3 outer zones, like nice and close to the wall, nice and deep into these final zones. Can he take it to the wall? Oh, he shuts it down a little bit early, just backs out of it.
Just backs off that throttle a little too early, as you say, Ian, and gets it over the line. But a good sign of what Antoine Amar is all about as he awaits his score from the judges. Really impressive showing from him on his first run. And interestingly enough, watching him in qualifying, or practice rather, earlier on, looked very comfortable on this circuit. So maybe just putting in that safe run on his first attempt, a 69.7 sees him in 5th position temporarily.
We move it along on the line. Another international driver, Kevin Lawrence, making the jump all the way from Claremont in Florida. This guy representing Injuku Racing and Competition Clutch jumped inside Ammon Simmons' Slide Motorsport R33 Nissan Skyline 2. Jay-Z under the bonnet, 520 horsepower. Look at the line from Lawrence already.
Got to remember, he's more accustomed to driving a left hooker, so...
No, he drives a right-hand drive car in the States, Eddie.
Apologies.
Yeah, no, Kevin Lawrence, accustomed to driving on this side of the car. He's one of the only FD drivers that drives a right-hand drive vehicle.
My mistake, so this is right at home for Kevin Lawrence here as he nails the circuit and showing that he is more than capable of mixing it with the top-level drivers here in the British Drift Championship.
So what can Kevin Lawrence do? The Formula Drift Pro 2 driver, representing Injuku Racing. As we wait for the score to drop in from our judges, a little bit of deliberation there from Ryan Pofker. 72.7 sees Kevin Lawrence into 5th position for the moment. And we move it along. And Liam Devlin. Now, this guy absolutely tears in this E36 BMW M3. 3.2 under the bonnet, 320 horsepower. But listen to the exhaust, because he will not lift one bit as he fires this car around the circuit nice and wide into that second outer zone, Eddie. This guy's been running the walls all weekend, and he's come here to party.
He certainly has. He always comes to go all out in that Devlin Trailers, Westlake Tire, JMC Boiler Services, Wattfab Lock Kits, DM Alignment, E36, and right now shredding those tires and tearing up the Rockingham circuit right out to the wall. Not a bad way to start for Liam Devlin. We said he was aggressive, and he just showed exactly how aggressive he is, pushing right to the limit.
So right to the limit he went, but how far did he push his score up the board? A 78.7 pushes Liam Devlin into 3rd place for the moment.
Now a man who will have a lot of people keeping an eye on him here this weekend. Alan Hines, the 22-year-old student from County Cork. He's representing Pro Drift Academy, Link Engine Management, Group D, Drift 2 Motorsport, and Origin Lambo. This young man learned how to drift on video games. He's translated all that to the track and to real-life situations, and just look at how accurate he is. A real line driver is Alan Hines. A master of the sport at such an early age, and a very successful top 3 finish in his rookie season in the Irish Drift Championship. So that just goes to show how competitive this young man is, losing the rear bumper off that final wall and nailing that qualifying run. So straight out of the traps, Alan Hines looking very settled and confident. 2JZ, 480 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car, so more than enough power to compete with the big boys here this weekend.
Certainly is, but can he break into the 90s? That was a very good technical run. And look at this, a 90.3 for Alan Hines on his first qualifying run. And Eddie, we are just 8 drivers in. This is insane already.
It certainly is. Now we move it along to a man that we spoke to earlier on. Pete Nielsen sits on the line in his brand new build, the 249 SX. Representing Pro Drift Academy, Link Engine Management, Drift Games, Moose Design, K Performance, Jap Speed, DTA ECU, Mintex Brakes, Long-Term Racewear, Stone Motorsport, Corbo Seats, and Mobile One. SR20 underneath the bonnet, and Pete Nielsen, again, another driver, very precise, relies on his ability to put in the perfect line rather than having buckets of power at his disposal. And how cool is this car? As Pete Nielsen takes it across the line, his first run of the day is in the books.
Again, another technical drive there, as you mentioned, Eddie. Alan Hines and Pete Nielsen driving very, very similar line there. Like you say, not a whole host of power under the bonnet, just 400 from that SR20. Nevertheless, Pete Nielsen putting in a very good run. You can see that being up in the 80s at least, in my opinion. Oh, just narrowly misses out. 79 for Peter Nielsen, puts him into 4th place.
Yeah, not a bad way to start for Pete Nielsen as we move it on to the Thunder from Down Under. Hashtag Mitch Don't Kill My Vibe. The man from Perth in Western Australia, it is Mitch Larner as he gets ready to shred those Destino tyres here on British soil for the first time ever. Look at the clouds of smoke that this thing creates. V8 LSA under the bonnet, 800 brake horsepower, supercharged, Winters quick change, Samsona 5-speed sequential, and one crazy Aussie behind the wheel. Mitch Larner clouds out the arena and sends a statement to Dwayne McKeever: if you want it, you're gonna have to go through me first.
Well, listen, that guy is hungry for it, and he wants to take down Dwayne McKeever. What an unbelievable qualifying run. That was just his first run of the day as well. He was absolutely nailing it in practice earlier on, putting it to the doors of some of the best from the UK. And with a run like that on his first qualifying run, I can't see why he would not be making it to the top 32 as the judges drop their scoring.
I'm just going to say, the rest of the grid have their work cut out for them here, because we have seen some insane scoring already, and we're only 10 drivers in.
10 drivers in already. And look at this, an 86.3 for Mitch Larner, drops him into second position at the moment.
Now, next on the line, Harry Houdini, aka Connor Shanahan, the escape artist representing Link ECU Westlake Tyres, 15 years of age, still in school, 2JZ with 700 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of this crazy 180SX. And this man, as we mentioned earlier on, has beaten James Dean in the past. So if you're unfamiliar with Connor Shanahan, well, this guy is one of the best in the business. And look at this on the front brakes as he tries to slow this car down and takes it nicely out to the wall, Ian.
Yeah, incredible stuff so far from Connor Shanahan. The deepest to that wall run that we've seen all day. Can he take it to the wall one more time? He certainly can, as a young guy takes it across the finish line. And also worth to note that this guy, the last time he was in the UK was last season, the final round, which he won. So he is technically unbeaten on UK soil at the moment. So he could be looking to hold that up, take it all the way to the podium this weekend.
Yeah, look, there'll be a lot of guys watching Connor Shanahan, and don't be surprised to see him mixing it up in the final four later on this afternoon. But right now, we await his score from the judges, and an 84.7 sees him in fourth position, and a nice start to the qualifying campaign for the young Shanahan.
Up next on the line, Phil Morrison, the Driftworks boss in this crazy, crazy AE86. 7.4 litre LSX under the bonnet, 715 horsepower on this. Little car is an absolute animal.
Yeah, Phil says this is the biggest handful of a car that he has ever driven, and he's driven a few in his day. So if a man with his ability and experience in the sport says this car is hard to drive, gets up nice and deep into those outer zones, dropping a couple of wheels off circuit. Phil Morrison certainly came to push nice and hard today. No championship at stake, but he wants to put on a show for the fans, and he would like nothing more than to take home a little bit of silverware to add to that already very full trophy cabinet that he has sitting back in the Driftworks HQ.
Well, very good first qualifying run there for Phil Morrison. Goes a little bit deep, takes that cone down on that outer zone 6. So judges going to be looking sort of 5. He's going to be looking. Judges going to be looking at that saying his wheels off circuit. That's not the right line.
Interestingly enough, he's been drifting for longer than Connor Shanahan has been alive.
Wow.
Score drops in a 70.7 for Phil Morrison.
So a 70.7 drops Phil Morrison into 11th position. And for the moment, we move it back to the start line. We see Leonard Cooper. Leonard Cooper, the owner of IROC Performance Garage, based in Berkhamsted in the UK. He says he's 6'7" tall, and he likes driving his M3 Turbo E46 BMW, 800 horsepower, and this thing makes some clouds, Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely, Ian. It's a real smoke machine, as Leonard struggles a little bit just to get the line right here early on in his first run of qualifying this morning. But you can just see already, every time he goes near that accelerator pedal, the rear end just sends up a cloud of smoke from those rear end tires, representing IROC Performance in that M3 Turbo. 800 brake horsepower, the car weighing under 1,200 kilograms. An absolute spectacle of a car. 65 though to score for Leonard Keppert.
65 on his first qualifying run there. Work to be done. I'm going to say now the top 32 is going to see some seriously high scores with the amount of good drivers we've got on this grid. We go back to the start line. One of our only female pro drivers, it will be Julie Robinson, the delivery driver from New Milton, Hampshire. RB25 under the bonnet, minus 3,000 horsepower. She said this is the lowest horsepower car on the grid, but she's been 10 years in the game and a long-term competitor in the British Championship. So what has Julie Robinson got? We've seen her qualify high before because she could technically be a good driver, but a big error there on initiation. Big elevation change there. Track falls off camber. It washes away towards the grandstand. So
yeah, very hard to see it on the monitors at home. But if you're here in attendance, you'll be able to get some idea of just what it's like for these drivers. And obviously, Julie in a relatively underpowered car here, just struggling to keep that momentum high. And yeah, I'm not sure if this will be an overly high score, though. But quite a sizable error on entry, and Julie will have to go back and just regroup and try and settle herself and make some adjustments before she comes out for her second run of the afternoon. We await the scores from the judges at 36 on the board for Julie Robinson.
So 36 there, that huge understeer on initiation going to have hurt her score massively. Dean Barber now sits on the line. We see his teammate Stu Egdal yesterday do some amazing things. Can Dean Barber replicate that in this SR20 powered 180SX, 490 horsepower, representing Goodrich, 360 wraps, Turbo Smart AET turbos, SFS Performance, EP Racing, Paint Tech and EBC brakes. The mechanic from Milton Keynes is going to be looking to get himself in the game today.
Yeah, collecting those clipping points out there at the moment. Could be a little bit deeper in some of them, as you see. Just slows that car down. Whoa, but gets a bit caught as he comes towards clipping zone 6 now. Needs to try and finish the stall. Drops a couple of wheels as he comes by 7. Gets it over the line. A score on the board nonetheless, but a little bit of an untidy run as it progressed for him. Started off quite nice, and some extra points in the bag, I'd imagine, for Dean Barber on his second run, if he can just tidy that up a little bit.
So a 57.7 there for Dean Barber, 14th position. 52.7, my bad.
We'll forgive you.
Forgive me. Talking to numbers, this car has plenty of them. Christian Christensen sits on the line in this absolutely insane Mazda MX-5 under the bonnet, not an 1800, 16 valve like you'd normally find. No, a Chevy LS motor making 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, that's de-stroked as well, so, you know...
Oh, he's way offline though, Eddie.
You know, it's been interesting to watch Christian over the course of the season. He's had a lot of bad luck, and when he gets it together, he's really able to steer this car, but this lap just not working out how he'd want. Dialing on the angle here just to try and keep that car sideways. But look at the cloud of smoke that it creates. Obviously, that 1,000 brake horsepower at his disposal, but not able to fill those boxes as he would have liked.
No, he certainly couldn't. The drifter mechanic, a bodywork technician from Denmark, struggling there to find the right line, which is a shame because in practice we see him absolutely nailing it in lead and chase. So not sure what's going on there for Christian Christensen. So judge is going to heavily deduct his score after that initiation and falling offline. Yeah, look at that, a 54 puts Christian Christensen into 14th position for the moment.
Yeah, and with the standard that we've seen, I can't imagine that will be enough. Now, Nathan Shivers, a man who sits on the line awaiting his first run of the day. The owner at GDA Sports Cars from Tunbridge in Kent. This LS2 supercharged Westlake tyre, GDA liquid-proof Astral Science Fiber Factory 180SX, 660 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet, but right now not the start that Nathan Shivers was looking for, Ian, as he struggles to get that car on the correct line early on in this first qualifying run.
No, certainly not. Made a massive mistake on initiation, put himself across the track, completely avoided the outer zone 2. It looks like he's got it back online now, though not as deep into that outer zone 6 as what we'd like to see. Transitions back, sacrifices 7. He's going to get into the wall, but it's going to be a scrappy line. It's going to be a very poor score there for Nathan Shivers.
Yeah, not the way Nathan Shivers was looking to start his qualifying campaign for the final round. And of course, got to mention as well, Ian, if these guys can't get themselves into the competition, it's the last chance that they have this season. And it's a long off season for these guys. 61 on the board for Nathan Shivers. An okay start, but as we say, with the scores that have been coming in, we expect to see this going up the order. Now, sitting on the line is not Ricky Lawrence, it is Mark Gemmell, the owner at MG Autotech from Glasgow.
Yeah, normally find him piloting the 350Z with the N54 BMW engine. Unfortunately, that car not playing ball this weekend, so Ricky Lawrence's teammate said to him, hey buddy, jump in my car and take that for a spin. And look at this from Mark Gemmell. Mark Gemmell absolutely nailing the line at the moment. And can he join the dots and make this work as he sags it to the wall, all just shy of outer zone 6. Good transition back a little bit too deep, just balances the car on the edge of the line, takes it to the wall and across the finish line. He's going to be happy to have put in a qualifying run because it looked like he wasn't going to get one earlier on in the day.
Yeah, look, that's it. And it jumps into the barred car, does a good job, drops a couple of wheels, and the line could have been better in certain parts of the track, but you got to say the barred car doing a very good job. Now, what score will come in for Mark Gemmell?
And a 71.7.
Not a bad way to start for Mark Gemmell. So we move to the back to the line where Mike Walton awaits the orders from the start line. Marshall representing Walton Motorsport, Cosmos Racing Wheels, CIS Limited, Mac Tools, Absolute Customs, Stellar Paintworks, and Like Hell Design. In the Briggs & Stratton 1.2 180 SX.
Sticks it to the wall though, Eddie, and not scared of that wall at all is Mike Walton. And again, nice and personal with that outer zone. Not as close as what we've seen him before. Nice and deep into outer zone 5. Looks for the wall one more time. Mike Walton knows he's got a long off season, plenty of time to repair the car, and he wants to find himself in the game. Sticks it to the wall for one last time as Mike Walton takes it home.
Yeah, gets very deep into that final clipping zone and certainly pushing himself and that car very hard here this weekend.
So Mike Walton awaiting his score from our judges. Don't forget, if you're sitting up the road and you think, oh, you know what, I could have shot down there, could have had a bit of that, could have had a bit of that action. Tickets on sale all day, don't miss out. We're not going to kick off our top 32 action till later in the day. And a 75 for Mike Walton on his first qualifying run drops him into 9th position.
So we turn our attention back to the start line where Darren D. McNamara awaits his first run, the owner at Group D in County Cork. In this insane 2JZ Group D Haltech, Garrett, Sunoco, Work Wheels, Turbo Smart, ACT Clutch, JR Pistons, OBP, Asdu, K&N, PS13, 715 brake horsepower. One of the most lightweight PS13 chassis you will find in the world. The center of gravity of this car just very, everything just down, all the weight just on the floor of the car, and a real crazy design built, fully custom in-house at Group D, and Darren McNamara takes it across the line. He is looking for some blood here this weekend.
He certainly is. He wants to get that redemption from after breaking parts at the last round at Three Sisters. Darren McNamara absolutely flying this weekend, and some guys saying he's one of the fastest guys on track. That car very light. An 84 for Darren McNamara's first qualifying run sees him into 5th position. And we move it along to our next guy on the line. It will be Peter Hayden. So Peter Hayden, the aluminium welder from Wisbeach, representing MW Autos, Maxstream and PAB Mortgages. Under the bonnet of this little Nissan Laurel, though, is not the usual suspect. It is in fact a 4-litre V8 BMW engine with a supercharger strapped to the side of it. And now this car took all season but finally got it exactly where he wants it. And look at this, Peter Hayden absolutely flying. Perfect wall run so far. Can he get into that outer zone 6 nicely? He certainly can. Plenty long enough, Eddie. Plenty of room to manoeuvre.
Yeah, first saw drifting at 15 years of age. Moved the clock forward 6 years, and here he is. His goal of being a pro driver in the BDC has been accomplished in such a short amount of time, and a real talent behind the wheel is Peter Hayden as he lays down his first run of qualifying at the final round of the 2018 season. And what a backdrop we have here. If you're sitting at home, this is what you're missing out on. Blue skies in a crazy, crazy arena. A 64.7 and 17th position for Peter Hayden.
Yeah, it certainly is a backdrop, and what a day. So up next we have Ian Biz Phillips, the mechanical engineer from Richmond in North Yorkshire.
Yeah, it's business time, representing Tarmac Sports, Ortec Welding, Tri-Ace Tyres, Morris Lubricants, Lace Gold Electrical, Emerald ECU, Bram Racing and Project Tugi. 6.2 LS3, 550 brake horsepower produced underneath the bonnet of this crazy Nissan 350Z.
As Ian Phillips looks to get nice and personal with outer zone 6, he certainly can do. Good transition back. We'll see him on the perfect line for the wall. And Ian Phillips absolutely nailing the second half of that run. Judges liking that one. the smoke disappears from the circuit. Eddie?
Yeah, we have just the right amount of wind to clear that smoke from us, so conditions could not be more perfect here for drifting this weekend.
A 74 for Ian Phillips' first qualifying run puts him into 11th position for the moment, and he'll be happy with that one, that's for sure. We move it back to the line where we do see Simon Perry. Simon Perry driving the Nissan GTR R35, 650 horsepower in there under the bonnet of this car, and Simon Perry, look at this, smoke in the tyres from the start line. The driving instructor from Leeds representing RJB Civil Engineering, RS Tuning, CG Motorsport, Pro Alloy and Maxolin.
There's rumours that this could be the last time that he will ever compete in the British Drift Championship, although we have heard that before, so hard to know if it is true. However, his focus right now is nailing that qualifying line, and look how wide he goes as he tugs that car nice and tight out to that wall and clips the rear bumper at the wall at the final zone, and just slams on the brake over the line to try and slow that car down. Awesome stuff from Simon Perry, and we know that he is a man that is no stranger to going to the podium, and certainly likes this track and this track layout here at Rockingham Motor Speedway.
He certainly does, Eddie. As we get the score for Simon Perry, it's going to appear on the screen. And an 80 for Simon Perry puts him in 7th position. A very nice first run there for Simon Perry. And we move it along. Lee Barker, the nightclub bouncer and hydraulic engineer from Slough. RB25 under the bonnet, 550 horsepower, representing Wharton Motorsport, Absolute Customs, Garage D, CV Automotive, Violent D, Infamous Creations, Strong Flex UK and Westlake Tyres. And Barker very wide. Look at this, he's going to almost come to contact with the wall, but he shallows out of it now as he transitions back into the centre of the circuit. Looks for the wall again. Just shy, but a good entry into this outer zone. It doesn't get all the way out to outer zone 6, but gets himself back online, takes it to the wall, and puts in a pretty good run there for his first qualifying run.
Yeah, I think quite a safe run for Lee Barker. There's little bits extra that I think he could push there. He could have been a little bit wider, but he collects those all-important clips as he goes, and I think a lot of good in that run there. Maybe not one to challenge for the top spot, but certainly a good banker and something that he can definitely build on his second run. So the score drops in, and a 76.7 for Lee Barker sees him temporarily in 11th position.
Back to the line we go. We do see Ollie Elmore, the engineer from Devon. 2JZ under the bonnet of this R33 and Nissan Skyline 700 horsepower. He said he's had this car, and this is the only car he's ever competed in. So Ollie Elmore and this Nissan Skyline quite accustomed to each other. What can he do as he pilots the Hell Motorsport Skyline to the wall? Oh, just backs out of it. He just lifts off the throttle ever so slightly. A little bit tentative there from Ollie Elmore's first qualifying run. Now he needs to grow into this one.
Yeah, judges saying they want to see drivers committing to that wall zone as they come up the hill towards the grandstand, not lifting off the throttle and taking the car all the way out to that outer zone. But unfortunately, Elmore just deciding that he felt that he couldn't get there safely. Represented, of course, Hell Performance, G-Tech, ETS Racing Fuels, all represented here this weekend, but a 72 on the board, so judges liking that one enough for mid-pack 16th position so far.
Yeah, good score there for Ollie Elmore. Up next, Scott Cartledge, the 2017 Pro-Am champion, debuting his new car, the PS13. Under the bonnet, a Toyota V8 turbocharged engine, and Scott Cartledge doing a very good job in practice now, looking to get himself a spot in top 32 today as he goes nice and close to the wall and stays consistently on the throttle, gets into that deacceleration zone, just scrubs a little bit of speed, looks for outer zone 6 and completely fulfills it. Very nice job there from Scott Cartledge, gets it on the line. Look at that, absolutely balancing on the edge of perfection as Cartledge takes it across the line.
Yeah, got to remember this is a brand new build for the 2018 season for the last year's Pro-Am champion and a road car as well. Crazy.
Takes it to the shops.
Takes it to the shops.
Don't know where he puts the shop in.
On the roof rack. He has a roof rack. Just takes it off because it's hampers him for drifting. But a 68.7 on the board for Scott Cartledge, and he'll be looking to improve on that on his second run. But not a bad rookie season for him in the pro class. As we move along to Brett Perry, landscaper from Leeds, representing RWB, RS Tuning, CG Motorsport. His two pugs, one called Butch, one called Daisy, 500 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet. And Brett Perry doing a nice job, getting nice and high, not lifting, and taking that car all the way out to the outer zone as he comes by the grandstand now into the teardrop section of the circuit. Again, utilizing every last bit of the surface on this track, and out to the wall for the final time as Brett Perry crossed the line. Maybe lacking some impact, Ian, but certainly a good run overall for Brett Perry.
Yeah, technically a very good run there for Brett Perry. Did the judges see it the same way that we see it? And they certainly did. That's 82 for Brett Perry on his first run, sees him into 6th position temporarily. We move it along to this guy who has been absolutely flying all day in practice. Says he feels confident, nothing to lose, running the walls, the back of this car, nothing left of it. Martin Wonnacott, the builder from Newton Abbot in Devon, representing Hell Performance, XS Wraps and Westlake Tyres. 1JZ under the bonnet, 702 horsepower, and look at the line, Eddie, from Martin Wonnacott.
Yeah, Martin Wonnacott straight out of the traps and nailing this line so far. Look at the way he brings that car right up to those outer zones. Foot absolutely pinned, a little bit of a waver as he comes down into the teardrop section, but hugging the outside of the circuit perfectly as he stands on the accelerator, coming back up towards the final sections, right out to the wall. No break in the smoke trail means he's not lifting off that throttle one bit in. What a way to start the first run of qualifying for him.
What a way to start qualifying there for Martin Wonnacott, and that guy absolutely flying. He said he's got all off season to get that car repainted, and if you get an option to a chance to get down on circuit later on when we have a break, come and take a look around Martin Wonnacott's car. Absolutely unbelievable. The paint job on that car is phenomenal, and Martin Wonnacott and the guys down there, so friendly and such a nice guy. Judges deliberating that one a little bit. Maybe they see things we didn't. Could Martin Wonnacott break the 90s?
Well, it means one of two things. It's either going to be pretty low or it's going to be, jumping into the top spot. That's what I'm thinking here. Martin Wonnacott, can he break into those 90s? Here we go. Scores about to appear on the screen, and at 80.3. Okay, so judges maybe seeing something there, as you say, Ian, that we didn't see. An 8th position for Martin Wonnacott.
We go back to the line where we see Matt Denham. Matt Denham on the line, the RDX Academy driver from Cheltenham, representing Jap Speed. He seems pretty tall, he likes to play the drums, and he likes to ride motocross. LS7 under the bonnet. And Matt Denham, previously running a turbocharger in the boot of this vehicle, caused him a lot of issues in the past, decided to rip it off, and we have seen an absolutely transformed Matt Denham and a transformed car, and this guy seriously throwing it all down there.
He scrapped that turbo, and the change it made to his performance when we saw him at Three Sisters, we said to him, don't you ever run a turbo again. Arguably the nicest man in the world, never mind on a drifting circuit, and Matt Denham showing just what he's made of, tagging some walls and leaving some paint.
Let me tell you something that Matt Denham will say to our crew when he gets out of the car. He'll say sorry for hitting the wall. He's the friendliest, most polite guy you've ever met. I know his family and his father are always in attendance, and that guy always super apologetic. So it does look like Martin Wonnacott, Matt Denham there did tag the wall quite hefty. We're going to have to get a little repair on the go there, but we await the score for Matt Denham's first qualifying run to drop in. The judges deliberating this one. Oh no, they've got the score in. It's an 82.7 for Matt Denham, a very good first qualifying run. So, like we said, Eddie, if you are local and you are thinking to yourselves, you know what, I should have got down there, I missed out on the tickets, that's not an option. We're just going to show a quick replay. You can see that.
Boom.
Oh, yeah, you can see it. Right in the middle of the two blocks, you can just see it flex ever so slightly. Like I was saying,
Tug life there for
Matt Denham. And he is not a thug.
No, certainly not.
By no means. If you thought you want to get yourself, come along. Tickets on sale all day on the gate. Get along. There's still plenty of space around the fence you can stand and watch. Unfortunately, grandstand tickets sold out.
Yeah,
Last opportunity for you to grab yourself some merchandise, the British Drift Championship merchandise.
I was just going to say, we have blue skies here, but you're rocking the T-shirt. The only reason I'm rocking the jumper is because I have to. We have to show the different clothing lines that are available here.
No, it's not that. It's because I'm allowed a seat in the sun.
Oh, that's it.
I'm in the sun, you've been put in the shade. So, sorry about that, mate.
Okay.
As you can see, official merchandise on sale now, directly behind where me and Eddie are. Go down there, see the guys, Jess and Jordan. They'll hook you up. They're sorting up some deals. Brand new, Eddie, brand new Drift Game sunglasses.
Yeah,
you can model some now for us.
I'll model them there. Yeah, these crazy good sunglasses. I mean,
they don't want to show you. Oh, there we go. Eddie, look at Eddie Power. Look at
Drift Games on the side.
Drift Games on the side.
Mean, look.
New beanies in stock, ready for winter. Get down there. Yeah, beanies. You're being past one now, Eddie. Look at this, brand new. I'm not wearing a hat. No, I don't do hats.
Okay.
Eddie. You can put it on. There we go. Look. Now you look like a thug.
There we go.
You look like a bad rapper from the 80s.
I'll freestyle if you let me.
So don't forget, get yourselves down to the shop. Those guys doing some deals on the stock that they have left. Like we said yesterday, we're going to say it again today, that you can't grab this stuff next year. It will be a different design, so get it while it lasts.
It's the last time it'll ever be for sale. If there's anything left at the end of this, we're just lighting a match to it.
I'm having it. No, I'm taking it home. I'm going to sell it on eBay for an extortionate amount of money.
You got to remember, Dave Egan will no longer own this British Drift Championship at the end of the today. So all this stock has to go.
It certainly does, and we move it straight back to the line after our quick wall repair. Mike Marshall now sits on the line, the former champ. No longer in his BMW 1 Series this season. Oh no, he jumps in a good friend's little E36 compact. Under the bonnet, a 1JZ.
Yeah, if it's white and it's a BMW, Mike Marshall will drive it and drive the wheels off it as he normally does. Look at this, nice way to start the run here from Marshall as he takes it wide out to the wall at clip 3. Now, will he stay pinned up to the fourth outer zone? Certainly does. As you can hear him bash the limiter in this little E36 compact. Nice wide line as he hugs that wide line, which denotes the extremities of the circuit. Back on the power now for this long pull up to the final sections of the circuit. Just a little bit of caught at clip 6 or 7 rather, but a very strong run nonetheless.
A very, very strong run. You know what, for me, that had all the makings of a nigh-on perfect run. It just sacrificed outer zone 7 when he transitioned back, just missed it completely, timed the transition wrong. He'll know that inside the car, and for me, up to that point, that was an absolutely flying run, and look at that, the scores rewarded it. An 83.3 for Mike Marshall's first run, sits him into 6th position for the moment. We move it along to Richard Grimrod, who normally we associate him driving that absolutely badass LSX supercharged powered E36 BMW. No, not this weekend. He's jumped in to Driftworks boss Phil Morrison's very own practice day car, Eddie. A practice day car.
Yeah, a practice day car. We saw this car out in competition yesterday in the tans of Tessa Whitlock. Well, what can Richard Grimrod do now in the pro competition? Looks like he's having no issues getting comfortable in this S chassis, doing a really nice job so far, Ian, as Grimrod tears it up here in Rockingham, putting that car right where the judges want to see it, taking it out to the wall. Rockingham, make some noise, show your appreciation for the Driftworks driver, Richard Grimrod.
Richard Grimrod there doing a very, very good job there. I'm pretty sure he's going to be awarded with a very good score in qualifying. Didn't set the scoreboard alight, but an 81 nevertheless, and it puts him into 10th position as we move it along to this guy.
The most handsome man on the grid.
I knew you was going to. I was waiting. Why is he so handsome?
He says it.
Well, oh yeah, no, that's
he says it. I gotta say what he says. So Oliver Evans in the VP Racing Fuels, Link ECU, DY Engine Services, Oleco Drift, APW Engineering, Westlake Tires, Penguin Speed Shop, 2JZ S14, 600 brake horsepower under the bottom. Oh, and
wow.
Evans goes straight to the wall.
Wow, big impact with the wall there for Evans, but he stays in it, Eddie, nevertheless, and that is commitment to the utmost as he goes to the wall one more time. Can he run the wall again? He's going to certainly want to as he gets all the way out there. Oliver Evans, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause, Rockingham Motor Speedway. One phenomenal qualifying run there for Oliver Evans.
What else would you expect from Oliver Evans once that car is up and running properly? That man goes hell for leather every time he comes out on circuit, and he's out for some blood here, out for some redemption. He's not happy with what happened in the final battle at round 4 in Three Sisters, and he is out to try and take down Dwayne McKeever.
He certainly is, and we're just going to see a quick replay of that wall run from Oliver Evans. Look at this, sets it up absolutely perfectly, maybe washes a little bit, he gets to the wall a little bit too early, but look at that, full commitment, it tags the wall, stays in the throttle, no drop in the smoke cloud, full commitment there for Oliver Evans. Is he rewarded? Oh, he's not. 75.3 puts him into 17th position.
I'd have given him extra points for that.
That was a golden buzzer moment. I don't know what Dave Egan's thinking. Back on the line, the man with the most handsome beard on the grid. It is Jason Clark, the fabricator from Slide Motorsport from West Yorkshire. LS2 stroked 6.7 litre V8 under the bonnet of this Mazda RX-7, 500 horsepower. And look at Clark.
Wow,
into the
getting
wall
into
for
the wall
Clark.
and gets it a little bit wrong, has to readjust there in. But it just goes to show these guys are pushing really hard out there. They want to top that qualifying spot. And Jason Clark finishing the run nicely here in, but I think that wall tap just unsettled them quite a little bit. And the fabricator at Slide Motorsport, who built this car with his own hands, is going to have to go back to the pits, resettle here. Just a quick look, just how deep. That's the wrong.
That's Oliver Evans.
That's Oliver Evans. Yeah, the wrong replay. But Jason Clark, a score of 72 on the board, and he will need to improve on that to try and bump himself up the order. But certainly a statement of what his intentions are here this weekend.
Yep, with that we go back to the start line. We do see Kevin Quinn, and we are now in the top 6 drivers of our championship as Kevin Quinn fires that car into the initiation. Can he hold on to it? He certainly can. Look at that, all the way to the edge of the circuit as Quinn starts to now bail smoke out the back of this immaculately prepared Quinn's Motorsport 180SX. To Jay-Z under the bonnet, 700 horsepower, the man from Tyrone in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, this man has earned his European Drift Championship license by his performance in the Irish Drift Championship, and right now doing a really good job here. Looking very strong in that 700 brake horsepower 2JZ Quinn M Sport build.
Are you trying to tell me a little secret there that this is the last time we're going to see Kevin Quinn in the UK?
I don't know anything about Kevin Quinn.
Or Europe. An 87.7 for Kevin Quinn sees him way up the order. The 2nd position for Kevin Quinn. Phenomenal stuff. On the line, Paul Smokey Smith, representing Jap Speed and Maxxis tyres from Spalding in Lincolnshire. 1.5 JZ Toyota GT86 comes off the line. And Paul Smokey Smith, a former champion in the British Drift Championship, so not unfamiliar to competition as he takes it to the wall. Nice line there from Smokey. Gets back into the throttle. This car is incredible to look at. And even better when Paul Smokey Smith is behind the steering wheel.
You got to remember, Ian, 5th position in the championship, so he's fighting for championship position. Still an opportunity to get into the top 3 places if he can put in a good performance here today. And right now, straight from the off, Paul Smokey Smith looking really confident in that Jap Speed and Maxxis tyre GT86.
Yeah, this guy, look, he's seen a couple of podiums this year already. He's going to be looking for another one, Eddie, and he's going to be looking to end the season on a high. Where does he drop into after his first qualifying run? And a 78.7 there for Paul Smokey Smith puts him into 15th position for the moment. And we move it to this guy.
Yeah, the man with no brain apparently. A very aggressive driver, Aramis Vasquez. One of the most entertaining drivers on the grid. If he can keep that car working properly, he's a real handful to try and deal with. Look at the angle in that he throws on into that first section of the circuit. Nails those 2 outer zones now. Takes it nice and deep out to the wall. You just hear him modulating that accelerator and clouding out this arena. No car produces as much smoke as Aramis Vasquez. 760 brake horsepower from the 4.4 BMW V8 with a massive Scania turbo strapped onto the side of that engine. And as he crosses the line, 1st run in the bag for Aramis Vasquez. 4th place in the championship at the moment, and could we see him go home with some silverware here this weekend? Do not rule him out at your peril.
Oh, Aramis Vasquez, definitely a guy to keep your eye on as we go through our top 32 this weekend. Always find him inside the top 16. Just not made it all the way to the podium as of yet. And an 83 for Aramis Vasquez on his first qualifying run sees him into 8th position, and we move it along to the top 3. First up, Matt Carter, the former champion, the previous champion from the 2017.
But you know what? He's still the champion.
At the moment.
At the moment.
He's still,
but that is all about to change, because either Dwayne McKeever or Martin Richards is going to be taking that championship home. Matt Carter, though, it's been a long season for him, battling out in Europe, but we saw him almost take down the street, almost take down James Dean in Mondello Park only a few weeks ago. What can Carter do here in the final round of the 2018 season? Can he add some more silverware to that trophy cabinet? The painter decorator from Hertfordshire. looking good early on.
Matt Carter looking very, very good. And as you mentioned, Eddie, not having the best of season so far, but doing pretty good in the British Drift Championship, sitting third in the championship as he at the moment, and 80.3 for Matt Carter on his first qualifying run. Judges seeing a few bits they don't like.
So that leaves us with two. The man sitting on the line, it was a nervous wait for him. Broken gearbox, I'm hearing. And the team have managed to replace that in 15 minutes to get it back out on circuit. What a performance from the crew down at the Driftworks pit area to get Martin Richards back on the line. He needs a big performance here. He's still in the title hunt here, Ian. It's mathematically still possible. He needs to believe that he can do it. He needs to start with a really strong qualifying run, and that is exactly what we're seeing. Dropping a couple of wheels, though, at that outer zone at clip 5.
He certainly was, yeah. He was right on the edge of the limits there. Martin Richards putting in the qualifying run of his life here. He knows Dwayne McKeever's hungry for it as Martin Richards sticks it to the wall. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Rockingham makes some noise for Martin Richards, representing the UK in that fight for the championship, as Eddie mentioned. Where does he sit now after his first qualifying run? Judges liking that one. I can see smiles all round. And look at that, an 84.3, so not as good as what we've imagined. Eddie, me and you just seeing that impact, that flair, we love it. Up next, though, on the line sits your current points leader and potentially your new British Drift champion, Dwayne the Northern Smoke Machine McKeever comes off the line for the first qualifying run of the day. What has he got? Look at the pace in that car, but he washes wide, almost washed his wheels off the edge of the circuit, sticks it to the wall, does McKeever. Good transition back, looks for the wall, doesn't get all the way out to the wall, is what we've seen him do in practice. Nice and deep into outer zone 5.
Yes, this is your reigning 3-time Irish Drift Championship winner, and right now Dwayne McKeever has never, ever, not even just this season, in his life, has never been beaten in the British Drift Championship, never been outdriven. And could we see him go 5 for 5 here this weekend? We're about to see the score drop in on the screen from the judges. Will he go top of qualifying? That's what we're used to seeing from Dwayne McKeever. Judges still deliberating over this one. We didn't see a whole lot of Dwayne McKeever in practice this morning. Maybe just saving the car for what's going to be a hard-fought afternoon of drift action. He wants to secure a spot at 87 on the board, so not the result he was looking for. 3rd position, though, qualifying nice and high, and you got to feel as though Dwayne McKeever will be happy with that. So that's the first half of qualifying done. We're going to just lock those scores into our system and take a moment, but I'm hearing that Nathaniel is down in the pits, and he's got a message for us. Nathaniel, are you out there?
I am. I'm down here. We're just waiting for Martin Richards to reappear from his lap. But in the meantime, check this out. There must be people out to make Martin Richards not want to win the event here today. Because look at this. This apparently is what they call a gearbox. All these spiky teeth, the whole thing's shattered. But they managed to get the whole squad assembled. And within, what was it, chaps, about an hour? An hour, they had an entire new one of these put in. Martin's gone out. I believe he scored an 84. It's put him into 6th place. But can you feel that? Feel that? That's the winds of change. I have a feeling that this British soldier's going to take it home for us here today. Now, I know Mr. Alan Hines, the most miserable man in all of drifting, is currently in the lead with a devastating... What did he get? What did Hines get? Who? 90.3. Something to chase. Now, we're hoping that Mr. Richards is going to appear. He's a little bit in the slow lane. Now, we've still got Dwayne. He's won 4 in a row. We're going to wait and find out. It doesn't look like Martin Richards is going to appear back, so we'll catch up with you later on. Thank you, Power Ed.
Thanks, Nathan. He doesn't like you. You don't like him, do you? Let's be honest.
No, I'm glad I never have to see him again after today.
Well, you don't know that. We're going to move it back to the start line, though, and kick off the second half of our qualifying session here at the final round of the championship. And up first will be Paul Cunnington. A 73.3 on his first qualifying run. He's all smiles in the car. This is bonus time for him. He's in the pro class. The Pro-Am guy finished in the top 4 yesterday.
Yeah, so Cunnington sitting down the order would like nothing more than just, but gets it wrong on entry. He's going to be penalised heavily for that, dropping those wheels off that 2nd clipping zone. But he gets back in it now, and he's managed to keep this high line. Can he get it out to the wall? Look at this. No lifting from Paul Cunnington as he stays in it here. Could we see an improvement? Just struggling to get that car going in.
Yeah, really working the throttle there and the clutch, just trying to get that car on boost, like you say, you can hear him really pushing hard. Balances that car right on the edge of the line there, takes it to the wall, and a pretty decent second run there for...
Yeah, look, got the car where it needed to be, but maybe lacking that fluidity that the judges wanted to see.
Yeah, or impact. It just lacked that little bit of impact. So I'm going to guess that that's going to be a similar score to his first run. As the scores drop in, look at that, I couldn't be far wrong.
Wow.
That's 26th place sits Paul Cunnington. We are running at a top 32 today, not the usual top 24, so we're going to see a stacked grid. Up next, Alistair Sutton. He has a 77.3 at the moment. Can he better it? Like I mentioned earlier, this guy, a very technical line-based driver. Not got the horsepower to be a very
look at the
flamboyant,
line,
but look at
so
this.
wide. Again, so difficult with just 200 brake
Look
horsepower
at
at
that,
your disposal to get it
absolutely.
into those outer zones, but Alistair Sutton
Perfect
finds
wall
a
run.
way to do it. Look
at that, again, another perfect wall run.
Yeah,
this is unbelievable. Look, lacking the smoke. If he had bales of smoke coming back of that car, the whole grandstand, I'd like to think, would be on their feet. Look at
this
this.
section of circuit that he's on right now is a slowing area, and he stays on throttle, stays in it, fully committed.
And as he takes it to Rockingham Motor Speedway grandstand, makes some noise for Alistair Sutton, the underdog in the pro class. That guy is now a pro driver. He finished in the top 5. I'm excited to see what he does next year with 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
He's excited to double his power. Insane.
Our track manager here, Mike Leeson, giving me the eyes, saying, how is he managing this?
Look at that.
A 77, not able to improve on that first run. I don't know. I think the judges are being a little bit strict there, because that, for me, was near perfection, given what he had at his disposal. Now, a man who looked very good in his first run, put in an 81.7. Andy Earl. He's back for more. The second run of qualifying in that Glenbeigh Group PS13. And he is looking really confident, like a new man.
Oh,
look at that
absolutely
line.
clinical. That was a perfect wall run there from Andy O. Andy O enjoying this extra seat time he's getting in this pro class. And look at this, right to the edge of the circuit as Andy O stays on throttle. Barely backs out of it, all the way to the edge. Nice and deep into outer zone 6 now. Good transition back is going to set him up perfectly for the wall run. And he is back into it as he goes to the wall and across the line. Ladies and gentlemen, show some respect.
I cannot get over the transformation in this young man's driving. It's incredible how far he's come over the last number of rounds. What a way to finish out the season. He is definitely going to be in the mix in a top 32, and an 81.7 on the first run. Is that an improvement? An 83.3, 9th position inside the top 10 for a Pro-Am driver. Insane.
Insane stuff. Back to the line, Ryan Caldwell, and now sits ready to do his second qualifying run today, an 85.3 on his first. Where's he going to score? There's a big opposite flick Manji there.
Yeah,
for
look,
Ryan
we
Caldwell.
saw Caldwell breaking into the 90s on the second run of the afternoon yesterday.
Oh,
currently
wow.
sitting in 5th position in qualifying in the pro class today at the final round. Nailing that outer line, bringing it right out to the wall. Explosive run here from Ryan Caldwell in that Quinn M Sport S15.
Yeah, this doesn't lack anything. This is absolutely flying from the 16-year-old student as he goes. Oh, he doesn't get to the wall. He got confused in the smoke. He couldn't see where he was going.
Yeah, you know what? I think a little bit sensible there. Couldn't see exactly where the wall was. Backed out of it just a little bit. Says, you know what? I know I'm inside that top 5 already. But Kieran Hines shows his hands up in the air and says, oh, come on. You robbed us of
Come on.
So where will it land? Will it be an improvement on that first run, or will he be marked down for missing that final zone? I expect to see it to be...
that could have broke the 90s. That could have broke the 90s if he was on the wall, but I'm going to say he's going to be down in the 80s for that run. And yeah, look at that, an 87.3 for Ryan Caldwell. Sits him still safely in 3rd position at the moment. But yeah, I thought that was going to break the scoreboard. Up next, Anton Amar, the recovery driver from Paris in France.
Yeah, representing Street Racing Garage, Drift Shop, Zec Nova Tires France, and Redline Oil.
And Anton at the moment sitting in 32nd place on the drop zone.
Yeah, that's 69.7 from his first run.
Oh,
I'd imagine
wow.
it won't be enough, but look at this, Ian, stepping it up here on the second half of qualifying is Antoine Amar.
Oh, well, he gets himself in the middle of the circuit there. Look at that big correction of steering. Oh, he's going to run the wall. A big correction to the steering. No, judge is going to see the way he washed the car out there. You were looking for the wall again.
Oh, and just
doesn't.
Yeah, backs out of it towards the end. And what started out as a very impressive looking run for Antoine Amar. I'm not sure now, will that be an improvement on the score? Could he break into those 70s? And every point that's up for grabs is crucial here as he sits on that drop zone. And we have quite a number of guys yet to come who will be looking to improve on their first runs, who currently sit outside that top 32.
So Anton Amar does improve on his score, and he will get a 75 for his second qualifying run of the day. Drops him into 24th position, scores very high.
Now,
Up next,
K-Law,
Kevin Lawrence in Juku Racing, all the way from Claremont in Florida. He hasn't had just a spin around the corner, and he's come a long, long way as this young man, and he is putting it all out there. A 72.7 his first qualifying run. Look at this, this is wild from Kevin Lawrence, but he's over the edge of the circuit, dropping one wheel off the edge of the track. He bails out of it and doesn't get as close to the walls. We've seen some of the guys. Gets back on the accelerator now, looks to the wall.
Yeah, needs a strong finish to this run now, Kevin Lawrence. You know, just getting a little bit too deep into some of those zones and dropping wheels off the circuit. But we've seen some really impressive driving from this young man, and a very bright future in the sport has Kevin Lawrence. And as he crosses the line, great to see drivers wanting to make the trip over from the States to come here and compete in the British Drift Championship. And Kevin Lawrence doing just that. 72.7 on the first run. Where will he drop after the second one? A 78 sees him into 21st position, and for me it looks as though he could be safe for battle action later on this afternoon.
Up next, Liam Devlin, a 78.7 on his first run, a farmer contractor from Antrim.
Yeah, representing Devlin Trailers, Westlake Tires, JMC Boilers Services, Wattfab Kits and DM Alignments. This 3.2 Evo engined BMW E36.
Getting thrown to the wall, Eddie, at the moment by Liam Devlin. Liam Devlin doing a very good job on that first wall run and stays absolutely committed. Backs out of it ever so slightly for the deceleration zone. Now back into it again. On the wall goes Devlin as he transitions in the centre of the circuit. Nice and deep into outer zone 7. And to the wall one more time. What a run from Liam Devlin. Liam Devlin, and not messing around. He wants a spot in top 32.
He likes three things. He likes rev limiters, he likes angle, and he likes walls.
I don't blame him. I like the same sort of stuff.
And I like watching.
Yeah, I like the same sort of stuff, Eddie. Where's he going to drop after his second qualifying run? Liam Devlin's score falls into our system.
Judge is still discussing this one, and the score drops in. Oh, no improvement on the first run, a 77.7, but good consistency from Liam Devlin.
Yeah, consistency could play a big key in this, and at the moment, your first place qualifier, Alan Hines, sits on the line, a 90.3 on his first qualifying run. Can he better it on his second? Well, he's got nothing to lose. He fires in that Pro Drift Academy 1JZ S14.
I mean, you don't get more on the edge than that. Hugs that white line all the way around. That white line, of course, denoting the extremities of the circuit. Alan Hines nicely out to the wall, just in front of the grandstand. A little bit of a bobble though, but gets straight back in it. This shaping up to be another near perfect run from the youngster.
Yeah,
remember,
2JZ
this guy
under the
learned
bonnet.
how to drift online using racing simulators, video games, so you have no excuse. If you want to practice, just goes to show that everything you learn online is completely transferable into the real world.
It certainly is, yeah. My bad, I said 1JZ. It's actually a 2JZ under the bonnet, 480 horsepower. Representing Pro Drift Academy, Link, ECU, Group D, Drift 2 Motorsport and Origin Labo. And look at that, an 89 on his second qualifying run. This keeps Alan Hines in first place at the moment, and Peter Nilsson now awaits his shot at fame on the line. A 79 on his first qualifying run. Thumbs up to the camera, the Drift Games driver, looking to send it out with a bang, he told you, Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know that for one, that Pete Nielsen, no stranger to getting up close and personal with the doors, and one of the most entertaining and nicest guys you're going to find. Always makes time for the fans and really works well behind the scenes for all of his sponsors that you see on board. It just goes to show it's not all about getting the top step on the podium. It's about coming here, having a good time, doing it for the fans. And Pete Nielsen, a regular in the top 16. Our track manager, Mike Leeson, getting excited here as Pete Nielsen nails it in that incredible 249 SX, the brand new build for this season. Debuted at the last round of the Irish Drift Championship, and looking to get a little bit more seat time in this car and get accustomed to it. Gotta remember, look at this, an 85 and 6th position for Pete Nielsen, a former judge, years of experience in the sport, and he knows exactly how important that line is when it comes to putting a good score on the board. Now, the Thunder from Down Under sits on an 86 from his first run. What can he do this time around? Mitch Larner gets ready to leave the line in this obnoxious PS13, LS powered, 800 brake horsepower.
Mitch Lana, look at this, to the wall goes Lana as he absolutely smokes up Rockingham Motor Speedway now. Mitch Lana looking for the ball one more time. Wow, gets nice and personal with those outer zones, fires it on big angle, doesn't slow the car down. Look at that, starts pedaling the car towards outer zone 6, fulfills it completely. Now can he finish off this run in a spectacular fashion? He certainly can, as he hits the wall and takes it across the line. Rockingham, give him a round of applause. The Thunder from down under absolutely laying it all out there, Eddie.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you're sitting at home watching this and you've got an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour drive, this man travelled 15,000 kilometres to be here. 15,000. And he even had a stop off in Ireland as well along the way. I mean, crazy the commitment that this man has. And look at this, a 90 on the board for the Thunder from down under. Rockingham raised the roof, second position for Mitch Lerner.
As we see a helicopter landing there, I take it the new owner's arrived, did he?
That's for me, that's what's bringing me home later on. I just asked him to be here nice and early, just in case.
Of course, got you. Connor Shanahan now sits on the line, awaiting his shot at second qualifying run. The 15-year-old student from Cork. As he fires it in the nice and deep into that second outer zone. Keeps it going again on the wall goes Shanahan. This is looking to be a top score run from the young guy as he gets nice and personal with outer zone 4. Shanahan stays consistent on the throttle. Nice smoke trail, gets nice and deep into 6. This is looking promising, Eddie, from Shanahan. Fires it nice and deep into 7. Working the car and throttle, gets it on the wall and takes it across the line.
Yeah, Shanahan just does what he does best and nails that qualifying line. Puts that car right where he needs to be, and an insane talent behind the wheel for such a young man. And an 87.3 sees him into 5th position.
So he sits himself in the top 5 at the moment.
Judge is hard to please today, it seems.
Yeah, very, very hard to please, and I wonder what they're missing, what these guys are missing. Phil Morrison sits on the line with a 70.7 after his first qualifying run. The director and owner of Driftworks from Birmingham, piloting this insane Toyota Corolla AE86, gets way offline, Eddie. Completely sacrifices outer zone 2, then almost washes off circuit. As Morrison puts the floor, unleashing 715 horsepower, gets back into the throttle again, but this is sketchy for Morrison. This isn't the usual fluid, consistent Phil Morrison we've come accustomed to see. Stays in it nevertheless, and looks to finish off the run as he goes all the way to the wall, almost makes contact with it. As Phil Morrison smokes out Rockingham Motor Speedway.
So Phil Morrison looks to improve on that score of 70.7 that he laid down on the first run. Judge is still discussing this one as we await that score to drop in. Will it be an improvement, Ian?
I'm not sure. Judge is discussing this one. Scores are dropping in for Phil Morrison's second qualifying run of the day. And a 74.7 moves him up the order ever so slightly into 27th position for the moment. So he does improve. Leonard Keppert now sits on the line in the IROC Performance E46 BMW M3 Turbo under the bonnet, 800 horsepower. This thing absolutely decimates Westlake tyres. But a very tentative entry there for Leonard Keppert, as he now starts to find himself into the groove, gets nice and close to the wall, does Keppert. And Keppert stays in it, but he washes wide off the edge of the track. It's going to deduct him points massively now. Is he going to be on the right line for outer zone 6? He manages to make it there. A good transition back in the centre circuit. All right, to the very edge of the track. And to the wall and across the line goes Leonard Keppert. Very strange initiation there for that guy.
Yeah, very strange indeed for Leonard Keppert, and you know, just struggling to get to grips with this car this weekend. And says this car's specialty is de-beating Westlake tyres. Gotta say, I liked your use of the word decimate. Nice.
Don't go using that now.
I won't.
They're using my words. 75.3 for Leonard Keppert's second qualifying run. Only sees him into 30th position. It just goes to show you the level of driving and how high these guys are scoring. We move it along. Julie Robinson now, she finds herself way out of the top 32. She's going to really need to pull it all out of the bag now. A 36 on the first run. What has this young lady got as she opposite flicks in this R32 four-door Nissan Skyline? Oh, and
yeah, just struggling to keep it together though, Ian. And look, you got to say, Julie really pushing it hard out there to try and keep herself in the fight.
Yeah, Julie Robinson doing everything she can to keep herself in the fight, as you said, Eddie, but this is not going to be an easy task. Nice and close to the wall there.
You got to say, just maybe something about that entry that's catching her off, because the rest of this run is near perfection here for Julie.
Oh, and
she
even a
takes
little
it right
wall
out to
run.
the wall. So Julie showing signs of what she's capable of, but I think the error on entry is going to really hurt the score.
Yeah, definitely. So we await that score to drop in for Julie. Can she find herself a spot in top 32? Or will it all be too much from the young lady from New Milton, Hampshire? And a 70 for Julie Robinson sees her in 34th position, so outside that top 32. Unfortunately, that will be the end of the weekend there for Julie Robinson, and we move it along to another guy who is outside of competition. Dean Barber now sits on the line with a 52.7 after his first qualifying run, the mechanic from New Milton Keynes. Big clutch kick initiation there as he fires in the car.
But he's wide,
he's very wide, and he's over-rotated. He shuts the run down.
Yeah, and that'll be end of the season for Dean Barber, unfortunately, as he limps back to the pits. And
give him a round of applause, Rockingham Motor Speedway. Tried his very best for you guys, but unfortunately struggled with car issues all season and just really are not finding his groove this year. So we make it official. It will be a 0 for Dean Barber on his second qualifying run.
Yeah, 0 for Dean Barber. Unfortunate for him. We move it along to the next driver on the line, and a man with some work to do, Christian Christensen. Gets ready for his second run of qualifying and needs to produce it now, or it will be the end of the weekend and season for him, as the crowds continue to filter through the gates here at Rockingham Motor Speedway for the final time this season. The sun is shining here as Christian Christensen looks to cloud out the arena.
Oh, he's got it wrong though, and he stays in it. He almost comes to an over-rotate there. He had to really work the car in that de-acceleration zone to get it back online. Stands on the accelerator and clouds out Rockingham Motor Speedway in that insane 1,000 horsepower Mazda RX-5. But he really needs to jump himself up the order of 54 for Christian Christensen on his first qualifying run. He is going to need to see at least a 70, and he doesn't. He gets a 57.3, so that will be the end of the weekend and the end of the season there for Christian Christensen, as he fails to make the grade on the line. And Nathan Chivers, he sits with a 61, so he also finds himself outside of top 32 action. Can he better it off in these GDA Westlake Tyres Liquid Proof Astral Science Fibre Factory of 180SX LS2 supercharged V8 under the bonnet, 660 horsepower? Chivers looks for the wall, nice wall run there for Chivers. Gets nicer deep into these outer zones. Now just slows the car down ever so slightly for Phil's outer zone 6 is a much better run for Nathan Chivers. Oh, but again, sacrificing outer zone 7 does tag the end of the tyre barrier. But unfortunately, Nathan Chivers there just sacrificing outer zone 7.
So the marshal's just working hard just to get that bumper off circuit and make sure that it's safe. We want to make a big announcement and thank you for our season-long partners who have been with us right from the off. Score drops in for Nathan Chivers. 65 means the end of his weekend. But yeah, as I say, sponsors that came on board this weekend, this season, they have been phenomenal in helping us achieve everything that we've done in the British Drift Championship. AM Details, Brian James Trailers, Cosmos Racing, Funk Motorsport, Jap Speed, JDM Distro, Link ECU, Monster Energy, M-Tech Brakes, Samco Sport, Simpson Race Products, VP Racing Fuels, and of course, Zestino Tires. We are ready on the line with Mark Gemmell as he gets set to take to the circuit for his final qualifying run of the season. 71.7 on that first run from Gemmell as he looks to improve on that now as he's down the order. What has Gemmell got in the bag in this borrowed car from his teammate Ricky Lawrence?
Yeah, Gemmell currently sitting outside of top 32 in 33rd position, so he's going to need to better his score quite a bit to make sure he is safe as he goes very wide there, dropping one wheel over the edge of the circuit, gets back on throttle, transitions back into 6, very deep into the edge of the circuit, runs the wall. That's a very good run there from Mark Gemmell.
Yeah, really good run from Gemmell. Will it be enough to improve on that 71 is the question that only the judges can answer, Ian.
So judges put their scores in. Where does Gemmell end up after his second qualifying run? Is it enough to find himself inside competition? Oh, and he doesn't better his place. 65.7 there for Gemmell. Drops him in keeps him into 33rd position. That is the end of the weekend. There, if we move it along to Mike Wharton, he's outside the top 32 with a 75, so he's going to really need to pull his socks up now and jump up the order. The owner of Wharton Motorsport from High Wycombe, representing Cosmos Racing Wheels, CIS Limited, Mac Tools, Absolute Custom, Stellar Paintworks, and Like Hell Design, all the way to the wall.
Yeah,
goes
puts on big
Wharton
angle
Motorsport.
in as he takes it to the wall now, full throttle as he takes it up to the wall section underneath the grandstand. And right now, Mike Walton is a man on a mission. He knows he needs to produce it pinpoint accuracy as he comes in to that penultimate wall section, through the final clipping zones and right out to the wall once again. Perfection from Mike Walton.
Perfection indeed, like you say, but did the judges see it the same way that we did, Eddie? It certainly had impact and style. And it certainly did. 81.3 for Mike Walton. His second run puts him up the order into 15th position. And we move it along to a guy who is safe inside top 32. This guy, Darren D-Mac McNamara, the owner of Group D from Cork, representing Group D, Holtec, Garrett, Sunoco, Work Wheels, Turbo Smart, ACT, Clutch, JR Pistons, OBP, and Asnu, and K&N as he fires in that immaculately prepared PS13. This car is an absolute work of art. What can D-Mac do though? Can he top qualifying, or can he certainly challenge those guys in the top 5? Oh, nice and close to the wall goes McNamara. Just a little bit deep there on that wall run, put a wheel over the edge of the track ever so slightly. Hangs the spoiler over the second to last wall run, gets deep into outer zone 7, to the wall one more time as McNamara makes it look effortlessly behind the wheel.
Yeah, well look, that's why he has been all across the world drifting. He's been, you know, on 2 occasions in the past, he's gone into the final round and formed a drift in contention to take a championship and just narrowly missing out on both occasions. So this guy, a wealth of experience behind the wheel. That 84 on his first run, looking like it could have been beaten with that insane second run. Will it be beaten is the question. Judges dropping in the score. Will Darren McNamara go top? No, but he does score a 90 dead. Insane stuff, 3rd position for him. And definitely Darren McNamara returning to the sport with an absolute bang this season.
He certainly does, and this guy sits on the line. He's going to need to make a bang, that's for sure. Peter Hayden, the aluminium welder from Wiz Beach, is going to need to climb up the order. A 64.7 on his first qualifying run as he takes out cone on initiation. The back of that car, a little bit shallow though in outer zone 2, and again with 3. He needs to find a little bit of form now, does Peter Hayden, as he gets nice and personal with the wall and stands on the accelerator. Downshifted a big clutch kick to get that car back into action again as he transitions through the final 2 turns of the circuit. What has he got as he puts it to the wall? I don't know, Eddie.
Yeah, look, it's hard to know. That 64.7 on the first run has him way down the order. Can he get himself into the fight here? Judges enter their scores, ascended into the system, and a 75 just puts him inside that top 32, 27th position. And Peter Hayden's going to have a nervous wait.
He certainly is, as we move it along to a guy who is just about hanging inside that top 32, and that will be this guy, Ian Biz Phillips. It's business as he fires in that Chevrolet LS3 powered 350Z, nice and close to the outside edge of the circuit as Biz Phillips Oh, boxed down ever so slightly, lifted off throttle, Eddie.
Yeah.
Finds himself not in the right place.
And that's what the judges have said they don't want to see, so you can expect to see this score heavily penalised for Ian Biz Phillips. And look at this, Ian gets it all wrong, backs out, wheels off circuit, and this not the way Ian Biz Phillips wanted to finish his campaign. Make sure you check him out online on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and follow his escapades, regular vlogger. Get a look at behind the scenes of just what it takes for him to get to each round of the British Drift Championship, but he stays where he is, 29th position. And again, another driver who will have now a nervous wait to see will he be able to get himself into the top 32.
On the line, Simon Perry, very happy as he almost stalls the car off the line at 82 on his first qualifying run. He's going to be looking at 80, sorry, on his first qualifying run. He's going to be looking to top qualifying. What can he do as he sticks those Union Jack end plates to the wall? Simon Perry now stands on the accelerator of this R35 GTR. Absolutely pushed to its limit now, nice and close to the wall. Again goes Simon Perry. He's got that line absolutely dialed for that second last part of the circuit, but he gets it wrong there, ever so slightly drops off line, takes it to the wall. It's good, but I don't think it's top score good.
I'm not sure if Simon Perry's feeling it at the moment.
I don't know.
Just doesn't look interested.
It just doesn't look the usual Simon Perry.
Looks like he's, I was being sarcastic, by the way. It may not have been a perfect run, but he's certainly putting on big angle and trying to put on a show. And look at this, an 87, only enough for 7th position.
Yeah, an 87 drops Simon Perry into 7th position, just showing you how high those scores are in that top 10. Lee Barker now sits on the line at 76.7. He finds himself inside competition. We're going to want to climb up the order, the nightclub bouncer and hydraulic engineer from Slough.
Yeah, representing Walter Motorsport, Absolute Customs, Garage D, CV Automotive, Violent D, Infamous Creations, Strong Flex UK, and Westlake Tires.
As Ali Barker comes off the line for an initiation, gets it wrong ever so slightly though. He's going to struggle to find out of zone 2. He's on a strange line there. Gets it together now though, and starts to work the correct line. Just missing out there on the edge of outer zone 3.
Yeah, it looked as though he was firing it up towards that outer zone and then lifts off just at the final moment. Dean prevented him from getting as deep into that zone. Just want to see him, but takes it out to the wall just through the final sections. And look, not a bad run from Lee Baker, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a massive improvement on his first run. Barker. Apologies. We got a Barker and a Baker.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
And we had a Lardner and a Lana.
Yeah.
Very confusing doing our job. A 72.7 sees Lee Barker staying where he is in 24th position. I'm pretty sure he's going to be safe there where he is, and we move it along to Ollie Elmore. Ollie Elmore with a 72 on his first qualifying run, sits himself hanging in the balance on the drop zone in 32nd place. Can he move himself up the order and safer inside competition? Well, he's going to have to work really hard for this. Representing Hell Performance, GK Tech, ETS or Racing Fuels. Oh, look at that from Elmore as he hangs a spoiler over the wall. Oh, lifted off the throttle ever so slightly, had to get back into it. Does find out zone 3 though, now starts to work the car into the perfect line. Ollie Elmore putting everything out there that he can, and again nice and deep into outer zone 6.
You can just see how relaxed he looks behind the wheel. Just feathers that steering and the throttle, and just keeps that car very well balanced throughout the circuit. Did have that lift off the accelerator as he came towards the 4th clipping zone just a bit underneath the grandstand. However, quite a good run, an impressive run from Ollie Elmore. I think that could be an improvement on the 72. And look at this, an 83, enough for 13th position, jumping him right up the order.
He certainly does jump him way up the order. He's going to be happy with that. Well, Scott Cartledge now sits on the line in that amazing Birchwood Motor Co. PS13, a V8 turbo under the bonnet. And your 2017 Pro-Am champion going to be looking to find himself a spot in top 32 with the pros this weekend. How does he fare as he nails that outside line? This is looking good from Cartledge so far.
Yeah, really nice line here from Cartledge early on. Now he needs to maintain that. Will we see him lift off the throttle here? Absolutely not. Keeps it in. Takes it right out to that outer zone. Now down into the deceleration zone and out to that penultimate wall, the clipping point. back on the power as he comes up the hill. It's shaping up to be a really nice run. Little tag of the wall as he exits the arena.
Yeah, very nice stuff there from Scott Cartledge. I'm sensing I'm going to sense a bit of an improvement in the score already from a 68.7. It could be wrong. So, yeah, look at that. 74.7 drops Cartledge into 30th position. So it just goes to show you, again, the score's really creeping up now. On the line, Brett Perry with an 82 on his first qualifying run.
Yeah, Brett Perry looking really good on that first run, and now coming out knowing he's safe for battle action. What can he do to improve on that run and try and bump himself up the order? Starting out nicely, right out wide to those outer zones, keeping it pinned to that wide line. Does he lift off the throttle? Absolutely not. Takes it right out to the wall. Perry on a really good run here. Can he keep this going through the final sections? Collecting those clipping zones as he goes. This shaping up to be a really strong run as Perry hammers the limiter and crosses the line. 2 runs in the books, and we is safe for action later on today.
Judges just putting their score into the system. We wait for it to appear on our screens. You guys in attendance can see on the big screen an 84.3, so Brett Perry just improves ever so slightly, moves himself up into 10th position. On the line sits Martin Wonnacott. Martin Wonnacott. Now, he was destined for a big run, but he backed out of it on the final wall run. This immaculately prepared Toyota Chaser comes off the line. The man from Newton Abbott in Devon. Nice and deep into the outer zone 2, stays on the accelerator, and again, look at that tag in the car on the wall. As Wonnacott tries to recreate that previous qualifying run where he was set for a high score. Can he do it again? Gets the car absolutely balanced and perfect for outer zone 6. Sets it up nicely for the transition, gets nice and deep onto the line, all the way out to the wall this time though, as Wonnacott finishes off the run. Very nice job there.
Yeah, really nice job from Martin Wonnacott, and I think that could see an improvement on that 80.3 that he laid down on the first run. He's a man that's looking very comfortable out on this circuit, Ian, and I think someone to be considered a contender for this round when all things are said and done later on this afternoon. And 83.3, so yeah, jumps up the order, 13th position for Martin Wonnacott. Not a bad showing from him. Look at those blue skies in the background. It looks tropical.
Yeah, you couldn't have even imagined it to be where we are and what time of year it is. Matt Denham comes off the line at 82.7 on his first run. He's safe inside competition, but the nicest man in UK drifting is going to be looking at the top qualifying. Can he do it in this LS7 powered Mazda RX-8, representing Jap Speed and Maxxis tyres? As Matt Denham sticks it to the wall again, sets himself up lovely for the transition, right to the edge of the circuit, to the wall, and over the line goes Matt Denham. And that guy really comes alive in the top 32 battles in my eyes.
Yeah, I think that's where, you know, his strong point really lies, is you know, chase driving and putting down a lead line that's hard to catch very fast through the circuit. A 79 improvement on the first run, but certainly mid-pack driver there. He's going to be one of those people that the top guys won't want to face early on, top 32, top 16. You don't want to be coming up against them. Now, Mike Marshall sits on the line, a really impressive 83 on his first run. What can he do this time around as we come through to the final few drivers on the grid? 10 drivers left to go.
Yeah, Mike Marshall rounded off at the top 10. So currently sitting 10th in the championship. Mike Marshall jumps inside this little E36 BMW compact. 1JZ under the bonnet, doing a sterling job so far. Sits with an 83.3 on his first run. And a very nice second run there for Mike Marshall, M&M Engineering.
Yeah, got to remember, a former champion in the British Drift Championship is Mike Marshall, so a wealth of experience, and he's just out for a little bit of fun. Wants to take the pressure off, and you know, not coming for championships, just coming out to enjoy himself. And look at this, a 78.3, an 83.3, good consistency, 14th position for the former champion.
We go back to the start line, we do see a Richard Grimrod from Team Driftworks representing Driftworks, Fibre Factory, Workwheels UK, Viking Auto Garage, Exxon Race Engines, DTA Fast ECU. Like we mentioned earlier, not behind the wheel of that insane LSX supercharged E36 we normally see him. No, this time he will be piloting the boss from Driftworks, Phil Morrison's practice day car, this beautiful S15, getting thrown to the walls by Richard Grimrod as Grimrod sets himself up for a very nice run, an 81 on his first run. Like I said, he's safe inside competition, just going to be looking to better himself ever so slightly. Nice line throughout zone 6, all edge of the circuit though for Grimrod on that transition. As Grimrod finishes off his run.
So Grimrod looking to improve on that 81, certainly put it all on the line and a little bit over the line at times. And an 81.3 narrowly improves on his first score, but just enough for 18th position with that 81. So it just goes to show how impressive these guys are driving out there. Oliver Evans now sits on the line. He's got a 75 on that first run. Remember, he had that big impact with the wall, which threw off his run and I suppose hurt his score a little bit. What can he do this time around? Can he just make the necessary adjustment a little bit further off the walls this time around? Is Oliver Evan as he just tones back that aggression. Nice trouble by the grandstand. In the VP Racing, Fuels, Link ECU, DY Engine Services, Oleco Drift, APW Engineering, Westlake Tires, Penguin Speed Shop, 2JC S14. Oliver Evans finishes it out in style. For me, an improvement on that 75 from the first attempt in.
A very, very good run there from Oliver Evans, and he for sure is going to need to climb up the order. And we always see him inside that top 32, so excited to see if he can make the grade, and excited to see who he draws in battles, because you know he is going to be door on door at every given opportunity. Score comes in at an 81.7 for Oliver Evans, sees him jump into 18th position, so he's safe for competition at the moment.
We're seeing a lot of high scores coming in, but at the moment the 90.3 has not been beaten from Alan Hines, and we're just going to take a moment over to the judges. Dave Egan, what is it going to take? We're into the final few drivers here in qualifying. It's the last round of the year. What's it going to take to get into the 90s, a mid-90s score?
Well, I think these are some great runs going in here, but the problem is just the length of this track. You've so much that you can do right and wrong over a whole run. We're seeing drivers at this point in time, there is a 100-point run already been scored. The only problem, it's been scored by individual drivers in individual areas. It just hasn't been one lap that connected everything together. There's either one of the things we're watching for is clip 1 to 2, staying on the outside line and not joining that outside line very late after 2. That's been the cause of some of the issues. Some of the guys that have gone for big scores have tried to go for the walls and they've either hit the walls or they've backed out just at the last moment, messing up their line. And then also as they're coming down the hill past tipping zone 5, we're expecting to get to the outer line before that wall run. And another little thing that's causing issues is a lot of guys carrying a lot of speed towards the last corner, towards the last wall, using the handbrake to slow and extend the drift a little bit. And clipping zone 7 in front of us here is another little markdown or two. We've been very close to runs scoring 95, 96, but they'll make one error in that run that will just knock them down that couple of points that gets them back towards the 90 area. It's out there, it's just for someone to grab it now.
So there you go. Very interesting to hear that with just our final few drivers on the line and getting themselves ready. We turn our attentions to Jason Clark, a 72 on his first run. Sees him way down the order, needs to produce it here. Not the perfect run from him, but we've seen some insane driving from the Competition Clutch, Slide Motorsport, Tri-Ace Tires, Ram Air and Fuchs Oil driver already this season. What can he do? The final time we'll see him out in this particular chassis, Ian.
Yep, Jason Clark sends it to the wall, doesn't lift off the throttle or won the bit there, and Jason Clark, like you mentioned, Eddie, way down the order of a 72. He's going to need to really pull his socks up now and put it all out on track as he transitions back into outer zone 6. You can see him off throttle ever so slightly, avoids the wall massively, and that final outer zone, that's going to hurt his score. I'm not sure if it's enough to climb too far up the order, maybe jump just inside top 32, but that's not going to be setting the scoreboard like by any means. Oh, and look at that, a 76.7 drops him into a 27th position, so he's inside the show.
Yeah, he's
because
safe.
Everybody else now ahead of him is in the show, but he's going to have a tough battle on his hands. We move it along back to the line.
It
Kevin
is
Quinn.
Baby Shark on the line, getting ready to go. An 87.7 on the first run. What can the Quinn M Sport owner do this time around? Nice wide line from 1 to 2. Keeps that throttle pinned. Clouds out the arena here with the smoke from the rear end. Obliterates the tires. Kevin Quinn looking strong here on his second run of qualifying in Rockingham. Can he tag the wall?
Oh,
He certainly can.
can.
Now, 2 final zones to go for Kevin Quinn as he sends it to the wall. What about that from Kevin Quinn? Rockingham, show your appreciation for Kevin Quinn. So we await the score from Kevin Quinn on his second run of qualifying. That 87, can he break it into the 90s? Can he top qualifying? That 90.3 of Alan Hines still yet to be bettered. Will it be the Tyrone man who does it? Judges still deliberating over this one and having a good conversation about it. Remember, guys, if you're in attendance, get yourself down to the merchandise area, the shop with Jess and Jordan over the break. Grab yourselves a bargain. We are selling off everything at crazy rock bottom low prices. Grab yourself a deal. And an 89.3 for Kevin Quinn, enough for 4th position, but not enough to break into the 90s.
No, not enough to break into the 90s, but you know what, he's doing a sterling job there in qualifying. 78.7 for this young man on the line, though. He's going to be looking to jump way up the order. The former champ, Paul Smokey Smith, comes off the line for his second qualifying day, nice and wide. Smokey Smith on that wide line, exactly what judges wanted to see, as he squeezes the accelerator in that 1.5 JZ. GT86 takes it to the wall, goes Smokey Smith. We've seen him on the podium already this year. Can he replicate it? Absolutely flying right now is Paul Smokey Smith. Looks to outer zone 6 and completely fulfills it. Full throttle transition and a big clutch kick for Smokey as he takes it to the wall. Rockingham, show your appreciation for Paul Smokey Smith.
So Paul Smith lands his second score, and an 84.3 sees him into 11th position, so outside that top 10 for Paul Smokey Smith, but certainly showing signs of intent here this weekend. Now Aramis Vasquez sits on the line, the driver from London. 83 he managed on his first attempt. This 4.4 litre V8 BMW powered E30 BMW, 760 brake horsepower, being transplanted from the engine all the way to the back wheels as he lights up those tires and clouds out this arena here in Rockingham.
And doing a sterling job so far as Aramis Vasquez as he gets into the final 2 outer zones, takes it to the wall. And Aramis Vasquez looking strong this weekend here. As you mentioned, an 83 on the first qualifying run. Is it enough to better it? Is it enough to jump inside the top 5? Judges having a little chat about this one. As we await for the score for Aramis Vasquez' second qualifying run of the day.
Yeah, and after this course, only 3 drivers remain: Carter, Richards, and the championship leader, McKeever.
So scores going in from our judges after a little bit of deliberation. This either could be a good one or a bad one, Eddie. This could top qualifying or could be a mediocre score.
I think it's going to be a good one.
I think it's going to be a good one. An 89.3 puts Aramis Vasquez into 5th position after that second qualifying
and
run.
look at this, Ryan Pottercarry given an 87. I mean, Ryan, come on.
Nobody's a 10, just remember that.
Yeah.
On the line, Matt Carter, the current and reigning British Drift Champion, representing Maxxis Tyres and Jap Speed. What has he got? He's had a dreadful year in Europe. He's come back for some redemption in the UK, and he has been absolutely flying the flag for the UK and Ireland at the final round of the Irish Drift Championship and Drift Masters. Look at this, Carter takes it to the wall. Matt Carter absolutely flying, fires it on big angle as he looks for outer zone 6, completely fulfills it, almost rubbing the wall with the back bumper. on that R32 Skyline. Sets himself up for a final wall run. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for your current and former champion, Matt Carter.
Yeah, look, I think that one's not going to break into the 90s for me, Ian, as he missed
that was harsh.
that fourth clipping zone. I'm only going on what the judges are saying, and he missed one clip, and I thought it was a near perfect run. Really enjoyed it. Lots of impact, lots of speed, but look, an 85 on the board and 10th position for Carter, but he is nicely poised to formulate his attack in the top 32 later on this afternoon.
Don't fist bump him. Don't do that. None of that action. On the line, Martin Richards awaits his second qualifying run. He is in the championship hunt. Can he take down the Northern Smoke Machine? Dwayne McKeever off the line. Goes Martin Richards as he comes in almost backwards and stays in the throttle. Martin Richards is hungry for the top spot in qualifying. Puts it to the wall as he transitions back in that Driftworks R32 Nissan Skyline. Problems no end for this guy this year, but he stays committed. And absolutely flying right now is Martin Richards. Can he fulfill all of Outer Zone 6? He certainly looks like he can, and he does. Good transition back now for Richards as he takes it to the wall. Rockingham raise the roof for Martin Richards.
An absolute stomper of a run, and what about the angle on entry? Almost puts it backwards through the first corner. Insane stuff from Martin Richards. For me, gotta be an improvement on an 84.3.
I'm gonna hope so. Gonna hope so. So we await the score to drop in, and look at that, an 87.3 for Martin Richards drops him into 8th position after his second qualifying run. He's safe inside top 32, and that means we have just got one guy left to go. This is it, your current points leader off the line, the Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever. In that Tri-Ace Tyres at Driftworks S14, but he goes wide, he drops wheels off the edge of the circuit.
And I was just about to say, Ian, you could bet your life he'll be coming forward, but he goes off circuit, drops a couple of wheels. That's going to hurt his score now. Looks to try and make up for it, he takes it out to the wall as he comes past the grandstand. Hammers the accelerator. If you ever watch an in-car footage of Dwayne McKeever, just keeps that throttle pinned and modulates the clutch pedal to try and keep that car on power. And McKeever crossed the line, and not the run he was looking for, and showing some signs of early nerves, but McKeever doing enough on that first run with an 87. Where will he stand after the second run?
We await the score to drop in. Eddie, where is it going to put him? Is it going to be a big one, or is he going to stay where he is? He's inside the top 10. The judges deliberating this one. They're saying the wheels dropped on the initiation. That could hurt his score massively. Scores start dropping in. Is it going to be a big one? Can Dwayne McKeever top qualifying? He certainly can. It's a 92.3 for the Northern Smoke Machine, and your current points leader takes qualifying. Eddie Power, what a qualifying session.
Yeah, what a qualifying session. The scores were insane, Ian, and you know, a lot of these drivers have just upped their game. They know how important it is, but I'm hearing that Nathaniel Black is down in the pits with your top qualifier and championship leader, Dwayne McKeever. Nathaniel, over to you.
Well, how about that? The reign of Dwayne looking at this moment like it's going to continue, and I'm here with Dwayne McKeever right now. Oh, here he is. Do you mind? Thanks very much. Here he is, Dwayne McKeever. How about that? From 8th all the way to the #1 spot. How are you feeling? Talk to me.
Yeah, over the moon, and didn't really know what to expect there, but happy.
You know, I'm happy that you're happy. Now, 4 for 4 in the BDC. You're looking for that almighty 5-4-5. I'm not even going to ask you if you feel pressure, because I'm still trying to process the joke from last time.
Yeah. Pressure for tires?
Yes, I'm getting there. So, you've got a Martin Richards with a superior new engine. You've got the Thunder from down under, Shanahan. None of these people, it's a different dance here today. Still not making you feel any different, no? Here he is right now. Here he is, the future Connor Shanahan. He's not old enough for most websites, but he's got a superpower car there. How are you feeling? Not an issue?
Wee buns.
Wee buns. Sounds like a bakery item. Now, one final question. Do you know who's bought the BDC? Because I'm looking for a job next year, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have much other work, so I could really do with it. Like I'm behind on a lot of payments. So any idea?
well, this threw me last minute because I thought you'd bought it, but
Well, I thought you'd bought it, so it's neither of us. So we could both be homeless in the next couple of months.
Yeah,
all right.
it's all up in the air.
Can I come stay at your house if I need to?
No.
Well, okay, I'll ask Kevin then. It'll be a definite yes. Thanks, guys. Let's see you for the battles.
Thanks, Nathan. So, ladies and gentlemen, that rounds out qualifying here at the final round of the British Drift Championship 2018. As we can see, Kevin Quinn and Ryan Caldwell doing some donuts on circuit. Can barely hear myself think right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring the scoreboard up for you. If you are in attendance and you want to make your way down to the edge of the circuit, you can enter the circuit at the Turn 1 South Grandstand or via the start line. Come down, get onto the circuit, meet these guys, have a chat with the drivers. I'm going to try and read out the scoreboard. Taking first place in qualifying is Dwayne McKeever, in second Alan Hines, third Mitch Lana, fourth Darren McNamara, fifth Kevin Quinn, sixth Aramis Pascalas, seventh Ryan Caldwell, eighth Connor Shanahan, ninth Martin Richards, 10th Simon Perry. In 11th is Matt Carter, 12th Peden Nielsen, 13th Brett Perry, 14th Paul Smith, 15th Andrew Earl, 16th Martin Wonnacott, 17th Michael Marshall, 18th Ollie Elmore, 19th Matthew Denham, 20th Ollie Evans. In 21st is Richard Grimrod, 22nd Mike Wharton, 23rd Liam Devlin, 24th Kevin Lawrence, 25th Alistair Sutton, 26th Lee Barker, 27th Jason Clark, 28th Anton Amar, 29th Peter Hayden, 30th Phil Morrison, 31st Scott Cartledge, and rounding out qualifying here at the final round is 32nd place Ian Phillips. Eddie, that is the formality, that is the first half, the boring bit, done. It's finished. It's in the history books. This year's finished for that bit.
Yeah, look, the last one, I've just seen
There's a dinosaur on track.
A dinosaur down on track, you know, so things are really hotting up here. It's going to be the most insane top 32. The final round, these guys have 5-6 months to re-prepare these cars, rebuild them for the next season. The championship, it's going to be decided in the next few hours. Ian, the noise in the background, the sunshine, the awesome crowd we have here in Rockingham. It's all still to come when we come back live. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm pumped too. But before we get into action, we're going to let everybody here in attendance get down on circuit, get up close and personal to these cars. If you're here in attendance and you want to get on the track, go to the South Grandstand, Turn 1 entrance. They're going to open the gates and let you in. If you're on the other side of the circuit, go to the start line where the cars are entering the track. You can get on circuit there. Come along, meet these guys. From me and Eddie Powell, we'll be back soon. We'll be back at 3 o'clock, I do believe, for Top 32. You don't want to miss it. Half past two for Top 32. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be some ride.
Yeah, absolutely. 2:30 back on your screens. Join us then.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
I've chosen to use VP racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now.
I've been using VP racing fuel for years, basically ever since I built my first race car, and you want to get that consistent fuel, it was VP through and through.
Absolutely,
right from the beginning.
That's the brand. Yeah, I've been using VP probably since I was 10 years old racing dirt bikes. There's so many different VP racing fuels to choose from. One of the best go-tos is definitely C16.
So we use C16 in our Formula Drift cars.
I run C16 in all my cars outside of this one here. The 2 race cars here at the track, we run the C85.
And my supercharged Coyote-powered Mustang that's over in Europe, we use MS-109.
And a Ferrari car, I actually run MS-109.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent, it's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
There's a reason that half the paddock, if not more here, runs Samco hose, and that's that nobody wants to be let down by a split water hose or a split boost hose. And with Samco, there's nothing to worry about.
With using these hoses, we get the reliability, they never burst, we can just rely on them, and that's all we need.
Half of the grid are running Samco hoses in their cars, and there's a reason for that. They're the best in the business.
I'm so happy to be running Samco hoses now, because in the past we have run other manufacturers' hoses and we have had the intercooler pipes collapsing, which obviously when you're under massive pressure on track, you have to be fully supportive and reliant on your hoses.
So a lot of people ask us over the years, you know, what hoses you run. Personally, I can't think of anything better than Samco. They do what they say on the tin, they work, they don't come loose, they don't fail on you, they don't pop. You can't beat Samco.
With over 25 years experience, Link Engine Management are global leaders in motorsport engine technology. Developed and manufactured in New Zealand, Link has been supplying ECUs, sensors and dashes to drivers around the world. We have a range of products to help you get the most out of your engine, and all of our ECUs come with a limited lifetime warranty. So if you want to upgrade, find your nearest dealer and get more info on our products, visit linkecu.com. Presenting the Link MXS Strada dashes powered by AIM Technologies, two devices that work in harmony with your existing Link ECU. Available in the standard or street version, the Strada can show a wide range of data like speed, water temperature, oil pressure and much more, thanks to its ability to read up to 4 analog inputs and 1 digital input. Our dashes come pre-configured, allowing you to get set up quickly and easily. For more information on these and all of our other products, contact your local dealer or visit linkecu.com.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.